fucking hospitality.
Somebody else could buy that fucking synth. Why does it have to be me?
Sorry, I had to fucking ruin it.
Just for him.
Star Trek Picard returns Star Trek to where it should be, about human beings and their alien friends striving to be the best they can be, and in the face of great adversity, and stepping up. And it's not about, if it's what you feel, it's okay. No. What you feel is going to get you killed. You know what's not going to get you killed? Really knowing how to do your job, and working with other people that are really smart and know how to do their jobs. We have to put our emotions aside and get the job done. And that's what Star Trek to me was about. It was about being the best person, human being you can be, and finding the best people around you, the best of the best, to go out. And that's what you need to be on the final frontier. Otherwise, you will get killed. You will never survive. And Star Trek Picard is all about these people that are the best of the best coming back together and doing what they do best. And it was refreshing.
What's up, everybody? Another day, another discussion of another Picard episode. So this time we're talking about episode 6, and this episode is called The Bounty. And well, if you haven't watched my reaction with Prophet of the Dragon yesterday, let's just say it didn't quite play out as well as last week's episode 5 that had Ro in it. So, but the thing was, last week's discussion was just me, Steve, and Gray, or not sorry, Gray, and Alex. Well, Alex and Steve are not here tonight, so but Gray is. So let's just bring him in. What's up, Gray? How you doing? I missed you last week. I was like, I hope it wasn't anything I said. I can change, Gray. I can change.
Make that change. I miss you too, man. I miss you too. And thanks so much for popping on my members stream. That was really great to chat with you. I've got one word to say, well, a couple of words in Neporial, and that's berries. Berries, get your berries. I've got strawberries, I've got gooseberries, blueberries. I've got some member berries, only $4.99 a basket.
And it sounds like the member berries are basically like a mixed bag. Like they're just, it's like what you put in a potchki or something. All that mixed fruit. But then again, you know, it tastes good until it doesn't. And that's kind of where I'm at with the member berries that they keep dropping in they keep dropping in the show. So, oh my God, I got a new subscription right here.
Yay!
Thanks for subscribing to Nigeria show. I didn't even know there was a Nigeria show, but hey, there we go. So I have to do my usual welcome. So here you go.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there again,
I won't.
ever.
I won't. I promise you.
Oh.
Never gets old. That never gets old from Beverly Hills Cop. So, but yeah. So, Gray, thanks for joining. And we have two additional guests here to kind of fill in for Alex and Steve. So one, he needs no introduction. He's here and he's salty. Here he is.
Oh shit!
I beg not to be let on this show tonight because of the things I'm going to say. Because
I don't want anyone to feel like they have to silence themselves, but I am also equally going to not silence myself. It's wonderful to be talking with you, Brian. It's great to see you, Gray.
Appreciate you being here. And we got one more guest, and he hasn't even really he's watched episodes 1 through 5, but he hasn't watched episode 6, so he's not going to quite comment, but ask questions, so to speak, based on what we talk about. And here's the one and only, not Alex.
Hey there. I don't watch football. I haven't seen this episode. I'm not a real white cloak, but I'll do my best.
But all right, cool. But yeah, thanks for being here. I know Steve basically texted me and said you guys would be interested in joining. So that's why I invited you guys in the first place. So
I admire what you do here, Nordporial. So I want to help. I do. I admire what you're doing, even though I don't agree with it. I admire it.
So I
do too.
I just want to make something clear about my intentions behind covering Picard. So I've not been a fan of New Trek. I tried to give the first 2 seasons of Discovery a chance, and then things just kind of fell apart. Things started making less sense, and then one thing I like to do, the nerd in me likes to rewatch stuff. If it's something I really like, I can rewatch it, enjoy it, and find something else to get out of it. And I've been doing that lately with, rewatching TNG episodes in anticipation of this, new series that's been getting high praise from a lot of bigger YouTube channels. Well, I hated the first season of Picard so much. I didn't even cover season 2. Like season 2 was up last year, and I was already, doing content creation. I already had my channel up, and I refused to cover it because I knew what it was going to be. So I was following like people like Nerdrotics, streams and stuff, hearing what was going on with those. And I tried even watching an episode, and I just couldn't do it. So, but then season 3 came about 5 or 6 months ago. Robert Meyer Burnett basically said, "Hey, this show is different." I've been watching the Burnett work. I've been watching the Burnett work streams for.
I'll mute myself. I'm sorry.
God bless you. Shit.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. So I did. Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. But Burnett work. He's been covering like New Trek for a long time. I've been listening to almost all of his streams, and his streams get pretty heated. Like he literally flips the bird to Paramount Plus and CBS, or especially the Twitter. The Star Trek on Paramount Plus Twitter,
wow,
and just said, "You guys suck." And this was from watching, I don't think it was Strange New Worlds, so or maybe it was Picard season 2, I don't remember, or Discovery season 3, one of those. And I've not watched any of those, but I gave his word and the word of a few other people that this season 3 was going to be different. You didn't have to watch seasons 1 and 2, and so far they've incorporated more of season one than I wish to hear.
That's what I've seen.
And this latest episode did the same. Just the whole Picard being a robot thing, and the whole killing Data a second time.
Why not? Let's kill him again. Yeah. Let's kill him again 3 times. Come on.
3rd time's a charm.
Shut up. This is why I said don't let me on the show. Don't let me on tonight because I am
fine.
pissed off.
It's fine. So some people, I was in a conversation with someone, and it came across that I am nitpicking. I personally feel I've been pretty fair, and I've been giving this show more time and effort than it probably deserves. So, I'm watching older episodes to try to connect what's going on in the series, and so far the series has been underwhelming. It's been 6 episodes in. I barely know what's going on. I don't understand how the Dominion can be in this position. Where are the Dominion ships? Where's the Jem'Hadar? Next episode, according to Mr. Burnett, is going to be a major exposition dump. So the whole thing is probably going to be explained, or it might not be. I don't know.
I hope they tell us. I hope they tell us and they don't show us while talking about feelings in hallways with Star Trek gift shop all over every scene while they do it.
What, like the beginning of this episode, Salty, when they were telling the plot as it was going along?
I got it. This whole show, and I can't sit still long enough to watch this because then I'll just gonna fucking die. I will watch parts of it and skip through some of the dialogue parts because I don't believe these are the characters from TNG. I will watch certain scenes just to see what they do with them, especially when they get to memberberry stuff, and I'm like, okay, does that look accurate or is that not accurate? But I am beyond being manipulated, and I am not settling for substandard anything anymore. This is
but Riker and Worf are awesome.
Great. Well, they are, but here's the thing that really bothers me. That's all we've ever wanted. We could have had this for the last decade. We should have had Worf's own show. We should have had Riker commanding the Titan. We should have had all of those things, but they didn't make them. Okay. And now they're like, oh yeah, well, before you all die because you're up to date on your boosters, let's put you in this show, which is a meandering, paper thin plot, grim, dark slog from Metalis and Kurtzman. And then let's put all the gift shop stuff on every episode we can and bring back random characters to tug at heartstrings to cover over the fact that our dialogue is shit, our plot is shit, and surprise, Picard had a son and is a bad dad. Like, I cannot get behind this stuff. I can't.
I mean, it's been done to death. I mean, that's been done to death. The whole once again, the whole older character not being wise enough, not being helpful enough to help, like in this episode, Geordi, not willing to help, and he had to be told by his daughter that to be convinced by his daughter, and then it wasn't even her conversation, it was what her and Jack do. They steal a cloaking device, they realize it. And then Geordi's like, "Oh, I'll help," and then blah blah blah. And then he's like, "I'm proud of you after that." And
Geordi was such a pussy in this. He was like his Twitter personality. He was like he's playing himself.
Geordi LaForge. That's not Geordi LaForge. Okay.
And I said this yesterday. I'm like, can you imagine if they would pull something like this in Star Trek 6? I mean, feel how you want about George Takei, but hey, at least Captain Sulu helped, Kirk and the Enterprise when they were in a similar situation.
I love that scene so much. That used to be what they used to show in Best Buy to sell the $3 million sound systems. Was that scene, with the yeah.
So I mean, I'm watching this and I'm just like, it's like they're doing this just to subvert people's expectations here. Now, I'm fine with. It's fine to show member berries, but you kind of have to earn that. Right now, it's tiresome. It's just like I'm at this point now where I just don't care. To me, it's just more manipulate. You're trying to manipulate my heartstrings. Like that whole scene. What did you think of that scene with? Before I even get any further, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Gray, we didn't talk about last week. What did you think? You weren't here for last week. What did you think of last week's episode 5 with Ro and Worf and Raffi finding Vulcan gangster dude who emotes? I didn't like that, but I like the Ro stuff. So yeah, tell me.
Yeah, me too. The Ro stuff was awesome. It was great to see her back. She delivered a really good performance. She had me like probably the best acting in the show so far, outside of Riker.
Yeah, and she brought the best acting out of Patrick Stewart. Like Patrick Stewart, I felt like he was Picard again. I couldn't believe it. I know. Daniel's going to totally disagree here because he watched episode 5. He hated everything about it. So,
really?
Daniel, when you're ready, you can retort us. But but
I'm not saying it's perfect, Noporial. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying there are things that I enjoy about this so far, this show, and that was my favorite episode so far.
I enjoyed it too. Like I was curious if we'd ever see Ro Laren again. That was one thing. She kind of vanished. She was supposed to be in DS9. She never appeared in DS9. Even in those Maquis episodes, we didn't see her. Nobody knows what happened to her. So now we see her again, and Picard had the perfect reaction. Like I could buy how he reacted. I could buy their conversation that they had. Now lot of people, one issue people had, and I was kind of in the middle of this, but people had that the big issue, and I think Daniel also has this issue, is that Picard trusted her really quickly when they were in the bar in that episode.
Yeah.
But the thing was, the fact that they went so deep into each other, I think I was able to buy the fact that he trusted her not to be a changeling. That's kind of how I interpreted that. I'm not saying he trusts her completely, explicitly, but to not be a changeling or a shapeshifter.
That was too fast. It was a fast turnaround. But I guess they're limited by time, aren't they? They're trying to cram so much, it feels, into the series, aren't they, Napoleon?
Yeah, that's a shame. I thought we were going to see more of her throughout the season.
Salty thought we were going to see more of her as well, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the storyline with Ro, and we were talking about it, I think, before we went live. Sorry, this is like the second show I've been on back to back. We said some things in the green room. Like, I was 17 when Star Trek The Next Generation came out, and we were all really excited, because I grew up watching reruns of Star Trek on my grandparents' black and white console TV, and I loved it. It scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid, and then it came back. Now, TNG had an original at the start, kind of a rough going. Now, part of it had to do with the scripts. Some of it had to do with the change of tone. A lot of it had to do with Patrick Stewart not being Kirk. Okay? But what won over Star Trek fans, and it was within season 1, was the good
music?
stories.
Is it just me?
No, I had some TOS music.
Oh, nice one.
It was the good stories. And these characters that were built and they earned through good writing and demonstrated action through episodic television that you believed that this was in fact the Enterprise. Okay, what I have not seen in anything from Alex Kurtzman and now this Metalis guy, and it doesn't matter if it's Discovery, which I literally screamed at and turned off halfway through the first episode because tonally this is not Star Trek. Okay, this stuff with Picard, I just think it's a cheap bait and switch. I think these guys know that they're screwed if they don't get views, and they brought somebody in to basically cherry pick and post-it note shit into this show, which is overlong, grim, dark, poorly lit, make TNG look bad, and trick the audience into not realizing they're retconning TNG.
This is my problem with the Ro scene from last week. So the performance is great. Like, she does a fantastic job, and you're right that Patrick Stewart finally wakes up for the first time in 3 seasons of supposedly playing Captain Picard when he's just been Patrick Stewart the whole time. However, I didn't like any of the Ro interactions for 2 reasons. Most of what they were doing is just referencing TNG episodes. So a lot of the emotional impact of their conversation is basically just talking about what happened on TNG, which is really all there is to talk about, right? Because the show doesn't really do anything new.
There's nothing there. There's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot there. There's not like a lot of like meat on the bone. It's I'm still waiting for some more world building. Just this past episode, they just talked about they talked about things that we already knew about. There's renegade changelings, there's extremist changelings, changelings, they'll probably pull their own they're the frontier day is going to be their own let's just say a particular date that I don't want to mention on the stream,
oh boy,
because
Karl Marx birthday, that's what Frontier Day is. It's Karl Marx birthday. You watch.
The other thing I didn't like was when she hands Picard her earrings and she's crying, I'm literally saying, oh, she's about to die, because it's so it's so obvious. Yeah. And I'm like, they are literally brought her on here to do a callback, to bring a character we all love back, and then to just die on screen. And so she is just another character here to be killed. And, people can say, well, she went out in a heroic way. It was a great way for the character to end. I don't need an end to Ro Laren. I don't either. See how every TNG character dies. Like, that's not a need I have. I'm like, oh gosh, I loved TNG, but how do they all die 20 years later? I don't know how they all die, so it doesn't really end for me. I need to know.
It's the same with the trilogy that calls itself the sequel trilogy. Same thing.
Exactly.
Like, do we really need to see those Han, Luke, and Leia die? I don't think so.
It's like Jack. I don't need to see Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China 40 years later,
Exactly.
fat and on a life support with dementia and how he regrets his life. I don't need to see that. It was a moment in time, a self-contained story. Okay, and that's kind of what this feels like.
Now, if they had a story that they were telling, if they had an actual story,
that's
and they were like, hey, this is 20 years later and everyone's older and we're telling a new Star Trek story, kind of the way we saw Bones in the first season of TNG, right?
Yes.
It was just a guest appearance. And then we had these characters kind of show up, but they're not killed just for emotional impact, and they're not there as a handicap because the writers don't know what they're doing, but they're just there and it's just a fun treat. That would be different. But
like Scotty in TNG when they find his residual image, okay? And then you show what it's like to go forward in time and all of his friends are dead, and it's like, holy shit, it was so powerful.
But
yes, they did talk about feelings in hallways. But it was a story. It was a story.
The Scotty episode was fun because they intermixed the Dyson Sphere, which is a cool science fiction thing we all love to hear about, and they did a wonderful play of both engineers from both shows working together, right? You get to see how they're different. You get to see how it's fun. It's just
that was
fun.
Awesome. That was cool. That was really cool to see, and I liked Data and Picard meeting Spock and Unification Part 2. Like that was great.
Yeah.
The only issue was, they kept promoting Spock in Part 1, and you don't see him till the very, very end.
Guys, there is a story. There is a story to this show. Do you remember how it started? Beverly Crusher was in danger, and she sent a message to Jean-Luc, and he came to rescue her. That's it. That's the story, right? Right?
And then he came and found out he had a son, and
deadbeat.
Oh my god!
And there's bad people after them, but they're actually after Jean-Luc. But no, they're actually after Jack. But they're actually after Jean-Luc. They're actually after Jack. Now they're actually after Jean-Luc's body. So I mean, it's just I'm
and now the Dominion are in it, but where are the Jem'Hadar? Paul, you were saying before, I wish they were in it. That'd be awesome. just bring everybody back. Bring the whole, every single character that's ever appeared in a Star Trek Next Generation episode.
Or at least explain what's going on with the
drowning in berries.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna bring back the shapeshifters from Deep Space Nine, and plus, I have an issue with this. Like,
where's Odo? For God's sake.
Well, Rene Auberjonois is. Well,
I know he's dead, but come on.
Away, but
pull him out of a can of Play-Doh. Look, it's Odo. We got a piece
can
of
Campbell's soup.
So, I mean,
mushroom soup.
I'm like, if you're going to bring the shapeshifters into this, you have to explain what's going on with the Dominion. All we know is that there is some fringe faction of shapeshifters that apparently need something for some reason, and it's mystery. It's mystery. This is pure mystery box right here. Like, we're 6 episodes in. Explain what's going on with the Dominion. Does the Dominion exist anymore? Are the Jem'Hadar no longer? Because with the Dominion, the Jem'Hadar and the Vorta are all breeded and cloned and everything. Like they're bred for war. So that's why it was so difficult to fight them in Deep Space Nine, because the Dominion can just completely replenish resources, including soldiers and warships and everything, and the drug that they use to control those soldiers.
So this is my thing.
Unforgivable symbolism, and I'll shut up.
With
in this episode that some people missed, and it had to do with the literal dead body of Admiral James T. Kirk, having a scan of his body in the background of a scene. And hail to you two. I believe who is and look at everybody in chat. We've got Prophet of the Dragon, Unbearable 73, Bandit MD11, who I don't always agree with. Dempsey is there, and then of course
Prophet, get out of here!
My Boxwine brother, Nosferatu the Vampire. But they're literally putting the corpse of Captain Kirk from the original series as a flipping wall hanging in a scene of this show. And to me, it's like, am I reading too much into the fact that you literally have the corpse of the strong representation of patriarchy who is banging all the chicks? Like we have to have him in the background? I mean, I don't know. This is why I didn't want to come on the show, because I'm just going to start yelling profanity because this really pisses me off.
So I have the do no harm philosophy when it comes to new seasons and adaptations. And so, I ask that question. It's like the first thing I want to know. And with the changelings and the Dominion is a big one. Odo, that's like his entire story of DS9, right? Is his reunification, is coming back to his people, that he was cast out and everything. And then he rejoins them, he leaves Kira and, you know, love of his life and everything so that he can heal his people. And now we're introduced to renegade evil changelings. And it's like, okay, everything Odo do just got undone. Like, that is all of DS9 pointless? Like, what was all that for? And I don't like that when they just grab I feel like they're just taking the changelings because they make a wonderful, scary villain because they can look like anything. And
here's the thing, though. I just rewatched episodes of DS9. I was watching the two-part. I started watching the two-part Paradise Lost and Homefront, and
awesome.
they are way more menacing in those episodes and in episodes like The Adversary than they are here. Like here, they're practically cannon fodder here.
Portal, I'll ask you directly: what is the point of those two episodes? When the changelings are on Earth and everyone is you know, all of a sudden paranoid, what is the ultimate point that they're trying to make with those stories? Like, there's a good that comes out of that, right? Because they realize, hey, we can't all just become paranoid, terrible people. We have to maintain our
I think
ideals.
they have that. Yeah, that admiral was so that they held that admiral accountable for because at the end of the first episode, they go into martial law,
right?
And so, the admiral is just using this to using this to I don't know. I haven't watched part 2 yet. It's been a while. I forget exactly what happens. I just know that I forget exactly what the admiral's plan was. I don't know if it was to get rid of that president, you know, because that president doesn't want to deal with, you know.
I think he basically wanted like military order. And basic, you know, and you remember Cisco's father basically saying, no, these are not the ideals we live by. I'm not gonna agree to martial law and military rule
or having blood because they were doing the whole blood. They were doing the whole blood thing in this. And so when you take blood from a shapeshifter in DS9, it reverts to its gelatinous stuff. In this show, in Picard, that doesn't happen anymore.
This is my problem with it. So they reference the whole using the blood to test for shape changers, just like from DS9, right? They reference
just
that
like Battlestar Galactica. Sorry, had to drop that one in there.
So they reference that in this in the last episode with Ro in Picard season 3. But what they don't seem to recall is the heart of the show, the heart of what DS9 was trying to say, which is like, we are not going to become a paranoid society. We have higher ideals we live up to. Roddenberry's vision, and the Federation is more than just technology and starships and sci-fi for the sake of sci-fi. There is an idealistic vision of humanity, and what the Federation means is more than its technology. And so, like, that's what I'm looking for. It's like, okay, we're referencing things that happened on DS9, but are we remembering what the point of DS9 was? Sorry.
I absolutely agree. I mean, it's just you're not, I mean, when it comes to moral quandaries and everything, you know, like, you know, the one thing Star Trek has always pointed out, it's point out, you know, there's always different sides to an issue, but it also points out, you know, the proper moral direction to take when it comes to a lot of these type of, you know, situations. So, I mean, that the thing was that, like, early Trek was really grounded in its morality, and that's what brought a lot of people on both sides of the political aisle on.
Yes.
And this newer stuff doesn't do that. I mean, this new season is just talking about it's talking about things like themes like family and regrets and legacy and everything. And I mean, and they just keep talking about it. It's like there's scenes where they just talk. It's like they interrupt the flow of the story itself to talk about these things. Like Picard and his son in this last episode, like they were just talking about him getting sick or having the aromatic syndrome. And then
it's all your fault, Dad. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be sick. Screw you, Picard.
I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for my strong, independent, single mother.
But then, after that, Salty, he actually complimented Picard, didn't he? Actually said, maybe I got a couple of good things from you, but oh shit, I'm going to lose my hair in like 5 years. I've had it.
Yeah, they were talking about.
I'm meant to be
this.
standing up for this show, guys. I've lost it. It's the music.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So episode 6. So episode 6 was, I did not like episode 6. I rewatched the episode. I just feel like, there were points where, now a lot of this is from me. I was disappointed in how they depicted Moriarty, and I'm not sure where they're going with this. I'm very confused about this whole data thing. And this whole Daystrom station, like Daystrom was an institute named after a scientist in the original series who developed a computer. And he developed the Enterprise computer, and he developed a special sentient computer that went rogue and destroyed a bunch of ships. And he ended up losing his sanity as a result. Or
it's even better, Naporial. It rhymes. Daystrom Station. How good is that?
I know.
Okay, I'll go away now.
And
go away now.
That's fine. But like the whole Area 51 aspect, I mean, Salty, you talk about this stuff quite a bit. Like the whole area, like Metalis himself has stated, like they wanted to do like two polar opposite, like so you have the museum that's is known to the public.
Member Berry Museum. Yep.
Yeah, you have Geordi LaForge's Fleet Museum, so you had all the ships and everything, and then you have the Area 51 Daystrom Station, where you had all this weird stuff that only only really massive nerds like us would know about, but like the body of Kirk, I didn't even know he told anybody about that. I thought that was just he's buried on Veridian 2 or 3 or.
Yes.
Is that from lore? Sorry, guys. Is that from lore about the Kirk thing? Because I had no idea about that.
Here's the thing: is he still exists in the what is it? Oh God,
the Nexus.
He's still in the Nexus.
So what they pulled out was not necessarily Kirk.
And I'm going to give credit where credit's
guys.
That's not real.
I read that conversation.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Unbearable 73. Who was bringing up all the permutations of Kirk and why was Kirk's body and why was Kirk's biological data, including his DNA, out there just to walk by, like in the equivalent of a gift shop at a Comic-Con, because that's the way this looked. This just looked like, the biggest problem I have with this show is it didn't earn the right to try and force people to feel the emotions that it's trying to force on them. You don't just do this radical. It's not even radical. I think it's a half-assed, half-hearted turn, and I think it's pandering. I think what Kurtzman and Metalis have done is essentially like that crazy bitch girlfriend who sleeps around and you stole all your money and killed your dog. Except she came back and she went to a couple of AA meetings, and she's saying some of the stuff that she learned in the AA meetings, but you can see in her eyes, in her actions, that she's still crazy and she's going to hurt you. And that is how I feel about what this is. Okay. You can be codependent with more than just a person. You can be codependent with a fandom that has been completely infiltrated by people who hate you. And I still think this show is run by people who hate us, and it leaks out every once in a while. They can't help themselves.
I mean,
you can tell me to shut up. It's your show, dude.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I personally feel that they only want to appeal to a certain. They only want to appeal to yes men or women, yes people. Sorry, excuse me. I gotta be
they them.
Correct.
Yes, they them.
So like now being critical or being nitpicky, quote unquote nitpicky, is I guess
let's talk about that.
Looked down upon. I mean, people have been nitpicking. I mean, Siskel and Ebert. I mean, look no further than Siskel and Ebert. I mean, they were critics in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they've nitpicked the shit out of movies that, I mean, today I disagree about, like especially John Carpenter's The Thing. They called it a complete shitty movie, just a gross out, which is not true in my opinion. But I mean, but they had the right to state their opinions based on their worldview and their taste in movies.
Not only that, but sometimes you get some valuable insight when someone gives you their real disagreement. Doesn't mean that they are right or they, but
you learn something. I agree.
Right. Right. They might be pointing out things that are accurate. Doesn't mean they're right about the movie sucking, but they can definitely still point out things that are accurate.
Yeah, so I'm more than that's what. Let's see. So people state that people only like to hear negativity. It's not so much people like to hear negativity. It's just that people like to hear ideas that might differ from their own, or they want to know why people feel a certain way, or people feel negative about something.
People want the truth. They want truth seeking.
Yeah.
Nerdtorial, you don't make videos talking about how The Little Mermaid looks woke. You don't make videos about Peter Pan. You make videos about things that matter to you. I know you really wanted this to be good. I know that.
Yeah, I was genuinely excited.
I wanted this to be good, just like I wanted Wheel of Time to be good. I wanted Rings of Power to be good. I wanted The Sandman to be good. Not as much as Gray. Gray really wanted The Sandman to be good. But there's a certain point in all of those shows, and sometimes it was only 20 seconds, where you realize that this is not the thing that you love. Now, does this show, Picard Season 3, have enough of not just the appearance and random insert of props, but does it have the heart and the soul and the narrative and the morality of what we all consider to be Star Trek? Because that is where I've disconnected from this, because this just looks like I'm walking into Hot Topic, and this is Hot Topic co-opted Star Trek. Okay?
Somebody say Hot Topic. I'm getting excited.
All right, great. So, come on, tell us what you thought about this latest episode.
Yeah, to be honest, this one was a bit disappointing because the member berries were ridiculous.
Not because of anything we said. So yeah,
no.
Remove everything from your head about what we said.
Yeah,
I'm just
fine.
a dipshit from Chicago.
No, you're not. You're my mate who I met on YouTube, and I'm delighted to be here. By the way, I'm with Salty and not Alex, Daniel, mate. I appreciate your support. Your comments on my videos are fantastic, but I'm getting distracted. Sorry. There were things I liked about it. I liked seeing Geordie, even though he was playing LeVar Burton. It seemed, his crazy black-pilled whatever Twitter personality. It wasn't Geordie LaForge. The scene with Seven just clicking on the ships and going, look, remember this, come on. It was overboard. It was ridiculous, even for me, and I'm the lone voice of positivity.
I got a question about that. Did you guys feel or Gray, did you feel that Salty, you saw that episode, did you see that scene with the ships and all that? Did you feel that was trying to emotionally manipulate you?
Yeah.
Tug at the heartstrings type of deal?
And that is what gets to me. I want to be emotionally manipulated when it is earned. Okay? But just showing me those things without, you can't be saying fuck and shit and doing all of the stuff that they do in this universe. And then it just shows me things that I want.
Salty. The first time they haven't sworn.
I'm just saying,
right?
It's distracting, okay? I believe in continuity of script and continuity of characters. Now, maybe I'm old. And I'm okay with that because I got to live through some really good shit, And when I die, this world will go to the hell that you all have to live in. But I got to enjoy a lot of good things in the 20s when I was in my 20s. But
hell is other people.
I'm gonna hold this line not because I'm bitter, but because my experience is different, and because I hold things to a different standard, and I'm refusing to allow my taste to be co-opted and what I believe is good writing to be changed. And there are people who are more than capable of doing good writing. They're not in film, they're not in television, and they're not getting shows made for that reason, guys.
You're saying Stranger Things season 4 wasn't well written?
I think it was, but that's a very, very rare exception. Tell me another show.
How about Tulsa King?
I don't like that.
Okay, how about The Responder with Martin Freeman doing a Scouse accent? Salty, he's bloody amazing in that.
Does this get Corey? Okay, well that's fine. I didn't see it, then send it to me and I'll watch it, Gray. And if I
no,
like
he just
it,
said
I'll let you know.
TV is not well written, or it can't be well written at the moment.
It's really not though. Okay, but cherry picking examples out of countless other shows, and I'm referring to fantasy and science fiction because I don't watch a lot of the other stuff. I'm talking about what we've endured for the past year with the Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, Witcher Blood Origin.
Oh, you need
Sandman.
to watch The Peripheral. It's amazing, by the way.
Oh, kiss my ass.
Prophet of the Dragon agrees.
Dude, I walked away when they started to rip her eyeball out because I didn't want to sit through it. You know what? I there are things that I love, and that's the thing but it's foreign stuff and it's older stuff. Stranger Things was welcome. House of the Dragon was decent. It was decent.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one actually. Yeah.
Decent. Okay, but if you compare something like, okay, let's do this. Let's do apples to oranges. Put Stranger Things up against Picard season 3.
Oh no, there's no comparison. Yeah.
Put Sandman.
But Stranger Things also does member berries salty.
Oh, shut up.
Just
Ray.
saying.
So put Stranger Things up next to put Sandman up to Picard.
Sandman's worse because it's shat all over the source material, and Neil Gaiman is a sellout.
That's how I feel about Picard and that what it's doing to Star Trek.
That's why I did it.
Season 3 is like
after
2 seasons of crap. Season 3 is a brief glimmer of hope. That's all I think.
I want to read this. I want to read the super chat for 658 yen from a certain Wakizashi's tea house, also known as Grayson. Love you guys and girls. Delighted to be here as the lone foolish voice of positivity. Wink. Hail to our wonderful fellowship. Thank you, Gray. Thank you for the 658 yen.
If it wasn't
that's the price of an American comic book in Japanese yen. That's what $4.99 cost me.
When I wake up in the morning, it's Gray's videos that I watch to start my day.
Every
Otherwise,
time.
I would just be a dark, depressing curmudgeon, just shambling through life. So thank you, Gray.
Yeah, but this is why my channel has 0 subscribers every week, pretty much because I focus on positives and no one wants to listen to that.
That's not true. We all love you. We all love you, Gray. All of us love you. Yeah, and I want to say hello, Firelance. This is your first time here. Welcome. It's okay to disagree with us on this. You know, if you're willing to, tell us what you like about the episode, and we'll definitely hear you out. But hey, if you like the member berries, that's great. I'm at this point now where I'm just like I'm sick of seeing them at this point, and they don't
compromise.
They don't make it doesn't hit the feels anymore. So.
Member berries is a bad thing when it's all you have on your plate. It's a great thing when it is, topping. So that's the real problem.
Check private.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, I'll turn it down.
No, but here's the thing: the difference between the member berries in Star Trek and the member berries in Stranger Things is that Stranger Things is taking you back to the 80s. Stranger Things is not going back to a show to cannibalize another show with the member berries from that much better show. Okay, I lived through the 80s. I had the BMX bike. I played D&D, all that other stuff. Okay, I was that.
Me too. Okay? Sorry, I love the 80s. 80s fucking rules.
I know. Give me a time machine. But what
practical effects
doing is essentially, let's go to the Star Trek gift shop at Paramount, buy all this shit, and then let's put it in the show. That's how this feels, and it feels disingenuous.
Hey, you want the Enterprise D Eagle Moss?
Oh,
I don't want the fat one. Right, why would I want the fat one? Who wants to buy the fat one? Oh, that was supposed to be funny, because TNG is popular. I'm just like,
let me tell you how much I'm a hater. Let me tell you how much I want to spend all my time on YouTube just making shit up. Let me tell you what, the reason why I'm upset, and a lot of other people are upset about this, is because we actually do love this. And we want a better story because these characters in Gene Roddenberry deserve better stories. However, it's very clear what Kurtzman has said. This is a platform for agenda. We got this Metalis guy. I don't know him. I don't know his heart. But he doesn't seem to make really good Star Trek, okay? And what I find really interesting is a lot of people are now attacking us for not going along with all the cool kids are saying about this show.
Really?
Have you ever been a nerd? Have you not been in nerddom when it was you just make your own thing up and you decide what's cool? When did this fandom in this fellowship start to attack people who disagreed because they didn't think it was good enough or it was the intellectual property? Now, I'm serious about that, and I will back that up any day of the week. All right? People are attacking Nerdporial right now, and he's not going to talk about it, and I am pissed off about it because Nerdporial has a good heart. He's also my go-to guy for shit that I love Star Trek, but this guy's like a walking Rain Man of Gene Roddenberry's universe, all right? I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's a beautiful thing. I wish I had that skill.
I would
And now we've
never-
got people in this fellowship calling him
Daniel.
like rage baiter. Daniel, I mean,
I would never call
Brian?
Nerdporial Rain Man. I've never seen him count any toothpicks. He can't
Oh,
prove it.
No,
Oh my
he looks
God.
nothing like Dustin Hoffman.
No.
That's not what we're talking about.
What is a sonnet? I saw that movie.
But you guys get my point. I mean, in this is that something weird is happening in this fellowship, and we can all see it. I'm just gonna
Salty's
say
on
that.
it, that's
We
a
can all
sonnet.
see it.
I think it's valid to have criticism, and just in this stream, Nerdporial was liking the previous episode where I dislike it. So he's already shown that he is looking at the show objectively, and he is finding things he likes. He is honestly trying to watch this show as a Star Trek lover, and I admire that. And I have no interest in Picard, so I don't have this this. I don't want to battle Nerdporial or tell him not to try to objectively watch the show.
I agree.
So yeah, I don't think it's helpful to basically say that you're only watching something because you want it to be bad. Obviously, that's not true here.
No, never.
I mean, like I had a friend of mine, won't name him, but I've gotten into arguments with him, and he feels like I am a contrarian for that.
I've been called that, and you know what? That's because when you're just honestly asking questions, and I don't want to get into the head of that.
I know we got to go down that road sometime. And talk
I'm going to
about
call
it.
you a contrarian for now. You contrarian, you. It sounds
Shut
like an
up,
old English,
Ray.
like, you know, what you call it? Insult. Oh, how dare you, you contrarian.
That limey bastard.
Okay, I'm going.
I just think when people want everyone to go down the same direction, and someone says, "Well, why?" and then it's "You're contrarian, you." Well, it's an honest question, why? And for whatever reason, if everyone just is really dead set on going that same direction, that's all it takes to be labeled a contrarian. But just if you're asking honest questions and you're a truth seeker, that is all that matters. So a contrarian, I've known contrarians, and they're the kind of person that when you say it's noon, they disagree and say it's nighttime, even though the sun's in the air. That's a contrarian. You're not that.
I appreciate that, and I wasn't really attacked. I was in a debate with someone, and I mean it cooled off. We went back from that to talking, joking about early TNG and everything. So yeah, we're pretty much cool now. So it was just something I felt like we needed to discuss. I mean, I'm
That's
not
what
attacking
nerds
the person.
do. We didn't know Pearl.
He
We
has
used to
his own
debate
opinion.
things.
He likes season 3, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
That's what we always used to do in it, Salty, and we're doing it now in a little bit of a way. I know I'm joking a little bit, but Nerdporial is one of the nicest guys on YouTube, one of the most positive. He's got me into so many things, and I'm sad to see that, this is like not working for him, and I know I'm being positive. I know it's not great. I'm just focusing on the things that I like about it. That's all.
I watched Nerdporial's face, and I'm not in no way am I being condescending. I watched Nerdporial's face as he watches these episodes, and it broke my heart because I
blame Prophet of the Dragon. Just saying.
No, Steve. Steve is objective. Steve is objective. But I mean, Brian, I wanted this to be good for you. I know you want it to be good. I wanted this to be something where I was like, no way they can actually make Star Trek, like real Star Trek. And I'm just seeing Star Trek wallpaper and Star Trek screensavers and Star Trek keychains. I'm not seeing Star Trek characters, Star Trek stories, Star Trek morality, Star Trek complexity, or Star Trek levity. I'm not seeing any of that.
Here's a simple question for everyone. When was the last time any of you watched Nemesis?
Oh God,
it's been a while.
I can't remember.
Any does it any interest in watching it? Do you have desire to return and watch that movie?
I own it on DVD. Yeah. But
I mean, it's a very how would I say it? It repurposes Wrath of Khan quite a bit, especially the whole, especially the way it ends and everything, and the ship on ship battle. But I felt Picard actually was Picard in that one compared to Insurrection. Now Insurrection was funny, but I felt Nemesis, we got more of, more dispassionate Picard. I can't let my feelings, affect my judgment and everything.
the reason I ask is because even though that wasn't a more accurate Picard, because the movie Picards aren't always very accurate.
No, they're not.
True.
What I'm kind of getting at is the heart of the movie and what you get out of watching it, right? Like you don't get the enjoyment, the fulfillment that Star Trek gives you from that movie, and it's kind of the same thing with this.
Yeah, I mean, they freaking killed Data. I was so depressed after watching that. And
the stuff with Moriarty is just, it hurt my heart. I mean, there were so many things they could have done with Moriarty. They could have done with them that it'd been like, okay, respect for that. And instead they didn't do them. Okay.
Like I thought Moriarty was going to play a role in fighting the shapeshifters.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, what the hell?
I thought they were going to use the Moriarty, the one that was self-aware. The one that was self-aware,
took over the Enterprise.
Yeah,
took over the whole Enterprise. I wanted it to Moriarty to trick them there, to free him, to take one of those ships to go. Yeah, could you imagine that?
It was too easy, wasn't it, Sonny? It was way too easy. It didn't make sense. It's like, come on.
It kills me. Like, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but come on. If that was the episode, we'd be losing our minds.
Yeah, that'd be so much better.
Yeah, so the whole purpose, and they made a big deal about this because the first trailer ends with us, them revealing Moriarty there. Because I know I reacted to it, and I honestly thought we were going to get something. What did they show in this episode? He is guarding Data or whatever. I don't even know what to call that thing. It's not Data. It's not Lore. It's not B4. It's like, I'll call it Brent Spiner synth. Okay,
this old man Brent Spiner looking really
old
bad.
Man Brent Spiner synth. No offense to Brent Spiner. He's in his 70s. He's had a good career. Well, okay, he's had a good Star Trek career as Data. Okay,
why is he aged, Napoleon? Why is his body aged? Answer me that.
All they needed to do was
the actor's 74 years old, I think.
All they needed to do is do a screen grab with a deep fake of young Data laying down from an episode. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even put the time in for that stuff. And that's the stuff that really bothers me. Like, if you're going to do this, just do a little CG with that. Like, that's all you have to do, and you can sell stuff, okay? But they're not. They're like, oh, look, there's this class and that class, and we can, like, all this ship and that other thing, and look, there's, it's just like...
It was over the top, Salty. It was, this one. I agree.
I think, therefore I am. And so all he did was you kept hearing this tune, you kept hearing these tones. And Riker, being the trombone jazz musician that he is, was able to hear the tunes, and he figures out. And I didn't put this together, but he figured out that it was Data trying to do his Pop Whistle Weasel from all the way back in Farpoint. You got to see that nice little member berry when Riker meets Data on the holodeck in the Enterprise D.
Something happens, though. I need to ask you this, Brian. Something happens in that scene. Riker goes to find Data, who's trying to whistle in that woodland scene, okay? They then come back, and then Riker is crossing a stream. And as he goes over the stream, a rock slips on him, and he looks down like that rock wasn't supposed to slip. Now, ever since that first episode, I've been wondering if that was something that was deliberately placed there to be used at a later time. You guys look this up in that episode and look at the reaction of Riker. It wasn't that of an actor who was reacting to almost falling and busting his ass. It was the look of like, this means something in that holodeck.
I just know that they put that in because Wesley falls into the thing. Wesley falls into the stream, and Data they show Data lift him up to show us like how capable Data is at like just to show us what Data is capable of, and
how young did Riker look as well? He looks so young and clean shaven.
Season one. He did not have the beard. He didn't get the beard until season 2.
Yeah. I still think there's something there. I mean, you could pick things out of Farpoint and put them into this show to close the whole loop if you did it and earned it. There's so many little moments like that. There really are. Not only that, but the Traveler. Remember the guy with Wesley who told him you can do things? Like, there's so many things where they could literally just retcon all of New Trek. But That's wishful thinking.
Salty, you're being slightly positive. What's going on? I
No,
can't
I'm not.
believe
I'm
it.
telling them how they can make whatever has happened in New Trek utterly disappear, because that's all I want. That's
Little
all I
germs,
think anybody
little
really
seeds of
wants.
ideas are in there. I
No,
know.
they're not.
You've just
smart
written a
enough
better
to write
episode,
this.
mate.
No shit, I do it every damn show that I watch, and I'm
So's
not that
Napoleon,
smart.
so's Daniel.
I agree.
I'm not a writer. I have to learn the craft. But there you
I'm
go.
not a lover,
But
I'm a fighter. Wait a minute.
but the Moriarty stuff was just disappointing. Like, and I think
It
this
was.
is all.
It was.
I think this is all. I think this is all that we're going to see of him. I think that was it. I don't know if you guys. I don't know. Gray, Salty. Do you guys think that was it for Moriarty? Like that was his appearance in the show?
Yes. That's it. It was
What are
wasted.
they gonna do with him? They haven't built anything with him. He just shows up like more than halfway through the show to do what?
Okay, this is what I wanted to say.
To miss
So
with his gun.
So you're gonna find this funny. It's like something out of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay, I do.
Riker
it
whistles
was gonna be
tune, and
Mario
the door
Brothers or
opens.
freaking-
The door opens. I was expecting to hear the Zelda. Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like, once again. So you have Portal, and now you have what I deem to be Zelda. This video game. There's a lot of video game influence in this Picard series.
Help me, Daniel. You're my only hope.
Well, I don't know if I'll
They
help.
mostly come at night. Mostly.
When I heard about this before watching any of it, and I heard that Moriarty was going to be on here, that Laura would be on here, and we'd get a return of the cast, I thought we were going to get an ensemble that basically had Laura replace Data, and Moriarty would be part of the whatever cast or crew, and that we'd be thrown into some kind of shenanigan plot where all of our old TNG cast had to work together. And
That's what I thought too.
and that we would see Moriarty as part of the crew somehow, kind of like as
The computer voice. He could be the computer voice.
or like the doctor from Voyager. Like I thought he was going to be a hologram on the bridge or something, and that he would somehow be there as an old nemesis, now friend, or a frenemy kind of thing. And I was at least kind of curious by that kind of idea of like the mix of these characters, because I'm thinking, well, Lore. Yeah, Data's dead because they stupidly killed him. But at least we'd have Brent Spiner as Lore, and Lore could be an interesting kind of redemptive, depressed, upset. I don't know what he would be.
Like Marvin the Robot from
like that.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah,
At
something
least-
like that.
I still don't even like the idea that this is even related to Star Trek.
I'm feeling very depressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If they had at least given us that, I might have maybe got some enjoyment out of it. Just seeing a Lore have to be part of a crew, and I don't think any of that is even remotely happening. Right? Like these characters are just one-offs. Is that all?
That's what it seems like, and like they kept saying Brent Spiner's playing Lore. That was part of the marketing. You
Right.
see it on IMDb and Wikipedia that Brent Spiner is playing Lore. He's not playing anything else. Well, apparently that was a false direction for the fans. Apparently he's coming back as pretty much Data at this point. I mean, he's going to be. It's weird. What do you guys think of this whole combined Data, Lore, B4, and this made-up character named Dr. Alton Soong, who didn't exist in TNG because Noonien Soong did not have any kids. If they did, we would have known.
You
all
talked
these
about
episodes.
this. You talked about this in Nerdporial. I don't like this addition of all the Soons.
No.
Yeah, it's like, let's create a Soong for Brent Spiner. Let's create a I mean, I was okay with Enterprise with Dr. Eric Soong. It was interesting how they connected him to Khan and the Remnants and everything, or not? Remnants. That was a great season 4 Enterprise arc. I don't care what anybody says. And Enterprise has its problems, but
season 4 picked it up.
Seasons 3 and 4.
It's Star Trek though.
It's Star
not
Trek.
Great, but it is Star Trek, and I would never say that Enterprise is not
Exactly.
Star Trek.
And
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
you know?
Matalis wrote 2 pretty good episodes from season 3. There was one with Vulcan zombies, which actually was a lot of fun, and he wrote a great episode where they capture the weapons weapons specialist from the Xindi, and they're trying to trick him into revealing where this weapon is.
See,
it was a great episode. It was great acting from the actor.
Your chat is on fire right now. I want to call out Anthroparian for calling out. You've had some awesome takes, and I'm sorry we can't get to them because we don't want to interrupt the flow of the show. Joseph Dredd, my partner in critically observing this show, is with us tonight. Bandit MD11 dropping bombs in this chat. We also had, God, there was somebody else, and I'm sorry, it's not my show. I mean, you guys, I'm reading this, and you guys are on fire. So
Sub Commander Tal, great to see you.
Oh yeah,
Sub Commander Tal knows the stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that person comment on. I've seen the comments on your show before and others, and it's wonderful to see all of these people who love what Gene Roddenberry created. And it doesn't matter if you think this show is the Jesus Christ of Return of Star Trek, or if you think if you think this is sub Wheel of Time. Okay, we love Star Trek. Let's all just agree on that. We love Star Trek. It's just that some of us honor Star Trek and hold Star Trek in different ways, and for me, I have a higher bar as to what I'm going to let
Salty,
into my canon.
like you, me and Napoleon, we're going back to the original series. We're covering the first season of proper Star Trek of Shatner. Oh my God, it's so good.
I have a channel on Tubi where all they do is run the original series through the end of TNG, and you know what they do? They restart from the very first episode of TOS.
You're so lucky.
So that is on in the background while I'm dealing with sociopaths at work all day on phone calls as I'm watching Star Trek, real Star Trek, to be grounded. So
I mean, if I was alone in space, if I was alone for the rest of my life on an island or in space or something, I can only choose one thing to watch, or one particular set of shows to watch. I'd watch all the Star Trek shows from Star Trek to Star Trek Enterprise, and the films, nonstop. Just completely, watching them. It would just it would remind me of my humanity, and it always brought me comfort. Maybe it's because I got into it when I was young. But those early shows.
How much Napoleon loves Star Trek, guys, if you're out there in the chat. And it's great to see, Site was saying, the support is really positive in the chat. I really appreciate that. This is how much Brian loves Star Trek. Come on.
And we all do. That's the thing, is I don't talk about how much I love Star Trek, but have you noticed my studio? Have you noticed that, I have hardcovers.
Look at that poster, Salty, next to you on the
all
wall.
Of it.
That poster is amazing.
I mean, and I've got my models, and when I was a little kid, this is the 70s, they had a little model kit where you could build the phaser, the tricorder, and the communicator. And I wanted that, and I wanted my dad to make it when I was 6 years old. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about how I'm just doing this for rage clicks. You know what? Kiss my old
You're not, though. You're not at
know?
all. None of us are.
All right, I want to read the super chat from Orville Nation, $5. Thank you, PJ. You're awesome. If you haven't checked out PJ's channel, great channel, Orville Nation. Subscribe to him if you haven't. And he says this: I always have valued Nerporial for trying to be objective. Great respect for you, buddy. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And once again, like his mantra always is, we grow together. So check out Orville Nation. Great channel, very positive, and talks quite a bit about the Orville and talks quite a bit about Star Trek. So give him a view if you haven't already. So
hail, mate. Hail, Orville Nation. Nice one.
You have a great chat, Nerdporial. You always have some cool people.
Yeah, I agree. The chat is best chat ever. Even better, way better than a certain Friday night.
Even Prophet.
I won't even go into I'm kidding.
Shit!
I'm kidding.
Look at the balls on our boy Brian. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm kidding, but
I'm not.
It's just my way. It's just my way of saying you guys are awesome.
Come on, there's a lot of people who are thinking it. A lot of people are thinking it for a while. Say that. But we're here to talk about Star Trek.
Hail, Dempsey. Don't be silly. We love you too, mate. Come on, Dempsey.
Yeah, we love Dempsey and Jacob Ironside. If we miss somebody, it's because we see the chat about 7 seconds after your comment comes. We're behind live, so little.
Okay, I got a question. What do you guys think of Vadic? I don't find her menacing.
No, she's over the top.
The beginning
she's
of
a
the
good actress.
Amanda Plummer is like, if any one of you fucking pricks move, I'll execute every last motherfucking one. That's Amanda Plummer.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. I want to hear what Daniel thinks it's okay first. Daniel.
No.
Vatic.
I can't stand her. Ed Grimley. What was the character? Yeah, like she's cartoonish to me. I don't think she's.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's how she. That was the reveal to Riker that dude that was punching. That was interrogating Riker and punching him.
That was terrible,
That was
wasn't
her.
it?
Like, hi.
Come on.
I'm like, and that effect didn't even look good. Like it didn't look like she was actually in the same space or in the same spot standing up. Like it seemed like she was closer to the camera, too. I'm sorry. I know I'm being really hard on this, but it just
no.
Like
Amanda Plummer.
Like,
come on.
So beginning of this episode, they show like so apparently the Titan is able to fake their what do you call it? They're able to leave a false trail, and so there's like 3 ships that appear. We get this nice shot, and then the Shrike is there because we needed to know the name of that ship. We needed to know that ship was called the Shrike. We didn't know what Christopher Lloyd's ship was called. We just knew it as the Bird of Prey. And we didn't really even know what General Chane's ship in Undiscovered Country was. It was just the prototype.
That really jumped at me because it's so try hard. Oh yeah. Let me tell you the name of my ship. I'm a Shrike. It's scary. It's named after
scary,
a bird that hailstones on thorns. Like, be scared now.
Yeah, that does that. Yeah,
it's like Twitter. It was Twitter Star Trek right there. I'm just gonna say that.
It certainly wasn't. Cry havoc and let loose the dogs of war.
That was just awesome.
Christopher Plummer.
Her
dad.
The classic difference between show and tell, right? Like in the movie, he is being scary, he's being threatening, and in the show, she's just declaring how you're supposed to feel and telling you directly, be afraid of my ship because I'm giving you a scary name right now. So it's like you're literally telling the audience, now you should be scared. And her character,
these are the moments that this is why I feel the way that I do.
Well, this is the difference between, like, I don't think this season, this is another thing. This season doesn't have as much like obvious agenda stuff, but it's there, but the writing, the issue is the darkness and the grimness that you mentioned, Salty, but also I don't find the writing compelling. I don't find the story compelling. I don't find her to be, Vatic is not scary. I find her to be the most current day out of anything on the show.
It's a gender study.
What about the themes of family? What about the themes of family?
The Jack Crusher thing is not family. He just met him seconds ago. That's not family.
This is not Fast and Furious. This is Star Trek. All right. That's every time I hear about family, I'm like, I want Vin Diesel to walk in.
That's what we need, Salty. We need Vin Diesel to drop in.
or what about legacy? Like, what about legacy and regrets and like. We're different now than we were when we were in our prime.
Yeah, but come on, guys.
When TNG was awesome.
When Worf and he was trying to hug Worf, and that was a great scene. Come on, I'm so easy. I know.
Worf and who? And Raffi?
Was it Beverly? No, not Raffi. Oh, screw Raffi, for God's sake! Somebody take her out of the show.
That chick has diseases, man.
Did you notice that Raffi did not call Jean-Luc JL? She called him Jean-Luc.
Wow.
And they barely had any interaction in this series.
It's the best she's been, and she's so annoying normally. It's the best she's been.
JL, what am I gonna do with you, JL? You're a terrible person, JL. You got my ass fired, JL. You know, that's he literally
living in a trailer park. Living in a trailer park.
At Vasquez Rocks. At
Vasquez Rocks. Because Patriot.
It's all true.
Guys, wait a minute. I've just remembered it. When Worf says Picard's wine is tarty, that was a great scene. Come on.
He called it mead. He called it
sour mead. Thank you for your sour mead every year, Captain.
Yeah, it's because I guess that was his way of saying I prefer prune juice. Remember prune juice, everybody? Remember like that the Warriors drink?
Deep Space Nine.
I remember watching that episode live and laughing my ass off because Worf totally sold that. It was just,
Botox.
but see, those are the things that sold TNG, is they had these great cerebral stories, but then you get these little flashes of personality within the character, but they were consistent with who the character were, and through the episodes of television, you were like, that's another aspect of a well-developed character. In this, and what they've been doing is, you have to hate this person because they're the bad guy, or this is the old man and he's useless, and I need to have the BIPOC female be better than him and say, like, CJL, I'm better than you and your time is over, and all this other shit, which may seem innocent and annoying, but it is still identity politics and agenda.
And to follow up on what you said, like the whole, I mean, like, did you guys find Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home funny?
Yes.
Because I did.
I love it.
Yes.
I
love
saw it
that
in the
show.
theater and I was like, this is like The Fall Guy. Like, a lot of people, when it came out after The Search for Spock, were disappointed in how much humor there was. Okay, as time has gone on, but you got to remember the era when that came out, because you're talking about the era of Star Wars. You're talking about being left on a cliffhanger from Empire Strikes Back. You had aliens of all the Terminator all around that timeline, and then you could tell the Shatner vibe of this, and it was the first time that Star Trek was in the 80s, which would have been current year. So it was all current year references to political things and other stuff like that. And I found it annoying, but still the part with the whales and the transparent aluminum and Scotty with the mouse and you got McCoy and Spock and like the dynamic there. I love that part, but I think it's a weak Star Trek.
They're having so much fun though, Salty.
Well, double dumbass on you, Salty.
Yeah, he's great.
Dude, I mean, and we can disagree. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just that I thought it was weak. And then we got Star Trek 5.
Klingon Bird of Prey, come on.
And I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know, but okay.
Do you like Italian? No. Yes. No. I love Italian. And
it's a great script. It's really good for.
Is he going to just crawl around the bushes while we eat?
It was trying to be moonlighting. You know, it was like let's turn Star Trek into a sitcom. And that kind of.
Sorry, when you said The Fall Guy, were you talking about Lee Majors' Stuntman series?
Yes.
Oh my god, I used to love that.
I used to watch that.
Deep lore.
It's a great show.
My time.
What does he say to Spock when he's like, I think I know where two whales are, because he sees it on the side of the bus, and Spock's like, how did you know that, Captain?
Sorry, we're gonna have to rewatch this.
Insightful. I forgot how he puts it. It was, what did he say?
I can't remember.
I forgot how. It was a great thing. I forgot how it was good. Damn it!
It's so fun.
Look at, we fired up chat. We've got Matt Unbearable 73 saying, "I would rather watch Star Trek 5 like 1,000 times more than watch Whale Trek." See, I'm not alone in my assessment.
That was Whale Trek.
Voyage Home. Okay.
No way.
But yeah, so it's funny that we're supposed to be talking about Picard. We're actually talking about
real Star Trek.
Well, you mentioned a family earlier with Picard, and it's like, okay, if you need to see family with Picard, then watch the episode Family after the Borg, because that is the best episode for Picard family stuff. Watching him roll around in the mud with his brother, like, that is a fantastic episode. And what more do you need?
It all built up to that. It just all built up to that moment, like he gets back home, he is uneasy being there. His brother is being standoffish with him, and he gets Picard to the point where Picard basically just breaks down, and his brother's like, "You're finally honest with me and yourself."
When he tells,
it was perfect.
When he tells Picard, "Are you going to go escape to the bottom of the sea and run away with your friend?" I forget the guy's name. Administrator.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you going to run away and hide in the bottom of the sea?" And he's just tweaking him and being the bully,
being a big brother asshole.
He's being the big brother bully that Picard needed, and Picard calls him a bully, and he tells him, "Yes, I was a bully," and he's jealous of him.
And he says sometimes I enjoyed it.
Yes,
and that got him.
That was real. That was actual. That not only was the acting fantastic, but it's just real humanity.
I never once thought that these were two actors. I thought this was a legitimate family. I really did, and I'm an asshole. You guys know that. I'm not looking at the past with rose-colored glasses and these things. There's a reason why these shows are timeless. There's a reason why episodic television of Star Trek from that period is timeless. And what we're getting now, would it help the show if they were each self-contained episodes? Maybe they were a little longer. Yeah, but in order to do that, you have to actually have the ability to write a self-contained story, which would be a 4-act play. Instead, we have the most paper-thin, convoluted storyline being stretched like super thin crust pizza all the way across 10 episodes while ramming every goddamn available living Star Trek character from TSG into this show. Okay? I loved Ro. I never needed to see Ro again. I loved Moriarty. The episodes with the Sherlock Holmes thing and Data and going in and Geordi has Watson.
Are you saying it's just lazy then, Salty? Is it lazy writing to be doing this?
That's what it is. But I mean, here we are, and it's like, I'm not grateful for you guys wheeling them out of wherever they are, their Malibu retirement home, to get them to play this character poorly, okay?
Riker's good, though. I'll give him that. Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, all I wanted him was in command of the Titan.
Yeah, what do you think of Shaw, guys? Daniel and probably Salty. What do you think of Captain Shaw? You know, because he was in 12 Monkeys.
That asshole from Chicago. Right. That asshole from Chicago.
Hey, no, I'm the dipshit. Excuse me. I'm
okay, that's right.
I'm the dipshit.
So when Shaw was talking about himself, he was actually talking about me.
That's about me. Come on. I'm the positive dipshit.
Chicago. You're from right, the other part of the world.
You're that asshole from Manchester. That's where you are. Yeah.
Yes, you got it right, baby. That's why I love you.
I'm from Chicago, but Nerdporial won't recognize me as such because I don't qualify.
Really? I'm sorry. Did you guys hear something? I thought I heard something.
Oh, shots fired, Salty.
I heard the voice of reason from our man Daniel, the quiet, but deadly one. Yes.
I grew up 2 blocks away from the original Portillo's.
Oh,
no way!
On North Avenue.
There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
really.
I used to eat Portillo's. Like I grew up on Portillo's. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how? And if you grew up on Portillo's now, you'd be bankrupt.
Yeah.
So, just saying. There's less food and it's way more expensive.
God, maybe it's good I'm not there anymore. That'd be depressing.
I just go Superdog for a hot dog.
That's a great list, Matt. By the way,
or G and Jude's.
5 over 4. Really? Come on.
Yeah. Star Trek 4 is definitely. I put 3 equals 4. One would be before 5, but after 3 and 4.
I like that Matt is so meticulous that he literally puts an equals in there.
Matt, I'm agreeing with you. I really do. As time has gone on, though, I would say Star Trek the Motion Picture has gone up in how enjoyable and great it is. I like how true science fiction it is.
Me too. I like that it's so different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand the hate on it. It's a wonderful.
People say it's boring.
It's a movie that. Well, I'll just be honest. When I first saw this as a kid, I fell asleep watching it.
I went to the theater and was bored when I was 9 because they said this was Star Wars.
Right? Yeah. When you're 9. Yeah. Exactly. So that's it.
It's. I mean, I'll be honest. Like the music in the movie is magical. The effects are the best.
It's science fiction. It's proper sci-fi,
and it's pure Gene Roddenberry motion picture.
It's hard science. It's hard
science. And it's basically what Star Trek is about, except this time they took an idea from an episode called The Changeling in the original series about a probe that's looking for its master and it's looking for its master. Same thing in the motion picture, except to a much larger scale. But like everything was meticulously created for the motion picture, and they reused the shit out of it in all the sequels. Wrath of Khan reused the Klingon ships. They flipped the Epsilon 9 station to become the regular one, lab and everything. So there was a lot of they reused a lot of stuff. And the music,
but never noticed.
TNG, the theme from TNG is the motion picture theme. Jerry freaking Goldsmith.
Yeah. Go back
and famously used in Picard this season.
To me, I think that's grave robbing. All these member berries and stealing of fonts and stealing of music. It's unearned. Yeah. All of this is unearned. And when it's unearned, I don't know. We see a lot of this where you have to give me something, and this is equity and all this other bullshit. You don't get to have my respect and have me shill for you if you're not actually walking the talk.
You
okay?
shield Salty? Never.
No, dude. No. Except for Prophet of the Dragon's mayonnaise streams. You know,
I was wearing Prophet's T-shirt yesterday. You know, showing for him.
I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna get one of yours too.
Yeah, it's a comfy shirt. I'll say that. So,
I love his baseball cap as well. Look at his stuff, Prophet. He's killing it with the goods, man.
Wait, go back to Nathan. I want to judge Nathan silently.
I love Nathan.
Very interesting.
You're wrong on
very
4.
interesting.
You're wrong on 4. You're wrong on 4. But otherwise,
no, he's not.
Okay.
1 before 4, though. I put 1 before
all
4.
All fair, except for 4. You take 4 off, we're on the same page.
2, 3, 6, 1, 4 for me.
But like the whole thing where they showing going back to Vatic and all that. Vatic just like getting pissy about or being worried about, you know, not getting them, and I don't even know what her point is. First they're going after Picard, then they're going after Jack, and then it's Picard again. No, now they're after Picard's body. That was the big bombshell at the end of the episode that they stole. So I don't know what's going on with that. And she just executes one of her own people. I'm assuming those bird suited people are other shapeshifters, I think.
I'm guessing. But that's such a generic villain trope thing, and she comes across that way. The whole playing with her food kind of thing, where like, run, get away, ha ha ha, this is fun, and then all of a sudden she's terrified because her boss tells her you need to capture them now. So it's like, which is it? Like,
the head thing. I don't even know what the hell that was.
Didn't make sense, did it? Why would she just kill them both? It didn't make any sense.
And also, it was just like, and the first thing I thought was, remember when Christopher Lloyd, you know, executed one of his crew for accidentally destroying the Grissom in Star Trek 3? Going back to that.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to do, but Christopher Lloyd, even though he's the bad guy, he had a reason to do that.
Yes,
I mean, it's not a good reason, but yeah, Klingons were bad back then. This is before the whole honor thing. This is before they were developed into the honorable.
Yeah. Who is Vatic even meant to be? Who is Vatic? What race? What? Hi.
I'm
Salty.
I'm nice. I'm nice. I'm nice enough to be menacing.
If she's meant to be outside of the lore of the show, in terms of just what the presence is meant to give you while you're watching, she's meant to be the villain and the ominous threat, and she's not that at all. She's not threatening.
Think, consume product called Star Trek. Stop complaining. Consume product called Star Trek.
I don't see
this
how
is
you
the
can
shit
praise.
I'm not buying.
I don't see how you can praise it and be like, even outside of all the lore breaking things and all the darkness and the things I don't like, the things that I think are detrimental to Star Trek, even if you were just to look at it in terms of entertainment, I don't see how she's entertaining in the context of being a villain. She's not. She's
miscast. I don't know why she was cast other than she's Christopher Plummer's daughter. She, for better or for worse, will always be known as the crazy bitch in Denny's from Pulp Fiction. Now, she has done other work. She is accomplished. But if you're going to have Amanda Plummer play a character, don't have her play the character she's most known for within pop culture. And this is like, what are we doing? Literally, is this just really that basic bitch? It's like, oh, look, you liked her in Pulp Fiction. Let's make her crazy on a starship in not Star Trek.
I don't know if she can act the role, but you could have rewrote her character to be one more of a quiet, sort of, you know, in charge, but not this over the top clownish kind of thing.
No, it doesn't work. She can't pull it off, can she?
No.
I would have rather had Ro come back as the villain in this.
Okay,
maybe like partly disfigured, and
here's
like
nice.
That would have been terrifying.
Here's a simple.
I can agree with that.
Here's a scary villain. DS9. I forget Nerdporial her name, but the Bajoran Kai Wynn. You know, now she's not scary in terms of like, but she's a villain.
You're misguided, Daniel. You're misguided.
Exactly. Like you can.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna burn you.
See, that's sociopath.
I'm gonna Nurse Ratchet the shit out of you. Sorry.
That character fit. That actress fit the character. Like that was a good villain, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's a great villain. So you can do that with Vatic in a different. You could write her correctly and then make her scary, but they don't even do that. And
that's what I mean.
And they're claiming that the show is great writing.
Shout out the chat, guys. In the chat, you got Jacob saying changelings don't kill the changelings. We've also got where was
Apparently
it?
these are not the same shapeshifters now.
Joseph Dredd saying Vadik is a changeling evolved. I assume an evolved one.
No,
so this is a trans. This is a they/them change.
Oh Jesus!
Is that what we're doing?
If they wanted to use
I have no idea.
That's a legitimate question, because when you look at the boxes that need to be ticked for modern entertainment, the show still has them. I'm not focusing on that because there are other issues with this show, but they're there. But at this point, it is the lesser of multiple evils for this show.
I have another question. Okay,
Transformer.
How many other
more than meets
species
the
in Star
eye.
Trek are shape changers? Nerdporial. There's a bunch. We've got them from the movies. We've got them from TNG episodes. Did you have to use changelings if you wanted to have a being that could change shapes and do this subterfuge thing, this spy stuff where you don't know who is who?
No, I mean they had it in heck, the original series, Captain Garth and Whom Gods Destroy. You know, he had the ability to.
That was amazing.
He had the ability to shapeshift, and that there was two Shatners. There was evil Shatner. There was evil Shatner trying to get on board the ship, and he couldn't because Scotty and the real Kirk were playing like an oral chess game. So every time Scotty said Queen to Queen's level 3, the imposter would be like, "I'm not in the mood for chess. Just beam me aboard." And Sky being Sky being a smart character is like, no.
I didn't know Shatner was a theatrically trained actor, Shakespearean actor. I didn't know that. When we were watching,
Plummer's understudy.
It explains so much. Sometimes people say he's over the top, he's a bit hammy, but no, man, he's brilliant.
He's a brilliant actor. I think he's a
that
brilliant
is how
actor.
actors worked back then on the stage.
Yes.
In that time period. All of the actors like that. Go back and look at Olivier. Go look back at a lot of the stage plays that may have been recorded. It was larger and over the top because you had to emote and you had to throw your voice into a large stadium and produce acting that could fill a very, very large theater. So I studied that.
So what do you guys think of? We have to talk about the facehugger Tribble, the one that went for Worf. That's what I call it because
that broke my heart, dude. It just broke.
Amanda Manethrin had a great comment.
It was meant to be a joke to because you know how Klingons hate the Tribbles, like they like the Klingon Empire and the Tribble Alliance, wherever the hell they are. Okay, there's no Tribble Alliance. They're just.
It was
Tribbles.
like a vagina.
That would be great, though.
Oh my god.
They hate each other, so they showed a very, very unsettling Tribble, like an attack Tribble or something, just so that Riker can make a joke to Worf.
But
and
that looked like,
I'm just like, and this was one of the things I was accused of for being nitpicky about. I'm like, it just took me out of the episode. I just thought it was stupid. I just thought it was stupid. Did Gray, what did you think of that?
It was daft. It was stupid. It was just for the shock of and then as you say, to make a joke. What do you guys think?
Reason why I said facehuggers. Remember in Aliens when Paul Reiser is looking at the thing and all of a sudden the facehugger sticking its dick at him, and then you hear Michael Biehn saying "love at first sight." Now that's a funny scene. Remember that from Aliens? Well, that was kind of what I think they were trying to pull here with Worf and Riker.
They failed. Daniel, what did you think?
I didn't see that.
You didn't. Well,
sorry, go on. I forgot.
Like literally, you see the under part of the Tribble.
Spoiler, Gray.
You see the under part of the Tribble, and there's like teeth. There's like
I gotta
teeth
show
in,
you
different parts, and it's just
I gotta show you.
Oh my god!
Now this is the one thing I do want to see, though. I want to see vagina Tribble jumping at.
Yeah, this was the father of the vagina Tribble right there with the teeth and everything else. So.
What is this from?
This is
Sesame
from the Muppet
Street?
Show. This is from the Muppet Show. This was a stagehand that was back there. So yeah, it's a Muppet.
Ah,
Not Fraggle Rock.
I don't know. I didn't watch that.
Then she cares away. War is for another.
Still looks.
Oh
more...
shoot! Sorry, I'm sorry.
I was okay with that.
I pressed the wrong button.
I went through a portal then. I think Salty.
He does.
Where are we now?
It was a portal weapon. It was the portal weapon from Picard season 3.
Guys, I'm having so much fun on this stream. You guys rule. I thought I was going to get killed and murdered on this stream, but you guys are amazing.
That's why I didn't want to come on the show.
Why would we do that? I mean, I feel bad for rebuking you a couple weeks ago. So I mean,
No, don't be silly.
I could never attack Gray, and I like your new pile of fun goodies back there, Gray.
I know, dude. I want to break in your house.
Thank you. It's so obvious, isn't it? It's so obvious though because there's a big blank space there. It's just like I'll just put something there. I want a spinner rack, Salty, Daniel.
Cardboard cutout of like some hot chick from the 80s in a bikini. I just think that would be perfect, you know? Like Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science in a bikini. I think
Weird Science.
Dude.
So is there anything we didn't talk about? Oh yeah, we want to talk about the melodrama? No? Okay. All the feeling.
That was terrible. It was terrible.
Sorry, I got a question for all of you. What do you think of the way they're doing the warp, the ship's warping suddenly into like appearing, dum like that.
I don't like it. That's
they were so close to that transponder. They were so close, weren't they? It was ridiculous. Three starships, like
I've never liked it.
It's like they're trying to look cool instead of being practical.
The JJ thing.
Yes, it's a JJ thing.
Definitely.
And it's Nerdportal got it. It's all visual.
It's pushed. Star Wars, not bloody Star Trek.
It's Star Wars, exactly.
Even the Star Wars stuff. Like, remember how they were jumping they were going to light speed 1, 2, 3, and Rise of Skywalker. Assuming any of you watched it.
I never saw that.
Oh god, it was so bad.
Because you didn't watch. Because Last Jedi kind of just you were out after that.
Because I'm afraid of strong, independent women. I'm a racist and
me too.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
no, because I walked out of The Last Jedi, and that's when I came to YouTube. Was walking out of that movie going, what did I just watch? I only went to YouTube for how do I replace a headlight on my car, drop the front end, or how do I do this, or how do I rewire a burned out something? And I didn't go and hang out with watch what all my nerds were doing. I'm like, who the hell's gonna do this? And then I was desperate, and I was like, all right, I want to see what other people are thinking about this. And it suddenly people were sounding like I did. And that's how I came to YouTube.
What took me one of the things what I couldn't stand about the warp thing in 2009 Star Trek, when they use it, Gundam, when they use it for visual effect, I hated when the Enterprise pops in and the entire rest of the fleet's destroyed. And it's like, it's supposed to be all scary and everything, but really, all I'm thinking about is, how many people did they just die? How many people were killed that they don't even care? And
it's like, why would you jump out of warp in the middle of a battle zone?
It's a debris field.
It's a debris field.
Read it was a debris field before they jumped in the middle of it.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's stupid. It's tactically dumb, but it's also callous. It's that whole they don't care about other lives because those aren't actual characters. So it's that callousness that is throughout New Trek.
Yes, it is.
Like the
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, so we got that. We got this really during this whole melodrama part. They're playing all this emotional music. You hear Alton Soon, who didn't exist in TNG, talking about evolution, and evolution it's not preservation, it's addition. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, what? And then you hear Geordi and Jean-Luc talking about their kids. There were so many scenes of just Geordi and Jean-Luc just talking about their families in the middle of an episode. I'm Commodore. How does a Commodore outranks a captain? So how the hell does Geordi outrank? No. How does Geordi outrank Riker? It's like did Riker was up for promotion as early as season 2.
Yes, he was.
Up for promotion as captain. He should have been admiral.
Geordi was
never lead admiral by now.
But we know why, because it's 2023.
Geordi was never hunting promotion or anything either. He was.
No, he was the engineer. He started off as the pilot. He is the helmsman, just like his daughter. And then he became engineer in season 2, and then he became lieutenant commander in season 3.
Right. I mean, he had a career and he had a promotion track, but he wasn't like this promotion hungry guy that you would see out pacing Riker. That
He
makes no
didn't play
sense.
politics. He wanted
Right,
to
that's
be
what I'm trying
working
to
on
say.
engines. He was a nerd's nerd.
That's what
He
I'm
was a
saying.
dude who wanted to work on engines. He wanted
And
to
he wanted
talk
to get,
about
and he wanted to get laid. And he
And he wanted
fell
to
in
get
love.
laid.
He fell in love with Leah Brahms,
With
his
Leah Brahms
on the
hologram.
He was
And the
hot.
real Leah
That
Brahms in
was-
season 4 was creeped out by this.
I
She
love
was
that
a-
So
reaction.
is she the mother? The question is she the mother?
That's what I thought. I was
I'm-
waiting for her to walk on. I was
I'm
waiting
cur-
for her to walk on.
I'm curious if Leah Brahms is the mother of Sydney and I forget the other daughter that appeared with LeVar Burton is actually LeVar Burton's real daughter. So I forget the younger LaForge. So Sydney, the one on the Titan, is the elder LaForge, and then there's the younger LaForge who was actually LeVar Burton's real daughter. But who's the mother? Is it Leah Brahms? Like they
It
said
has
in
to
All
be.
Good Things.
Can you imagine if they did the Leah
Beverly
Brahms
Crusher.
thing? If they
Well,
did
Yeah,
that,
Beverly
remember
Crusher's been
Min?
busy then.
Remember Min
So-
with Riker falling in love on the holodeck? And
The
then-
11001000101.
Yes, but remember that was how when he got captured by the Romulans with his fake son that nobody remembered, and they said Min was his wife, and that's how Riker knew it was all bullshit, and he was being held by the Romulans or whatever. I'm wondering if these guys don't even know the lore enough, and they will do that and make it Leia.
oh,
I just wonder.
when they thought Min was a real memory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm
'cause the
wondering.
writers-
Don't know and didn't watch deep enough. I'm waiting for that to happen.
That's a little
Napoleon,
Really?
you see Anthroparian's comment about Riker. He was going to get promoted, but then he got the Kenny Rogers bad boy beard. Decided to hang around the Enterprise to give the holodeck a good thrashing.
You gotta
That's
know when to
probably
hold
what
them.
it was.
Know when to
brilliant.
fold them. Know when to walk away. All right,
And
I'll
we
stop. Know
got
when to
we have a member of the Continuum. Magitech Mags is here.
Hey,
Mags.
hail.
So yeah, there was that,
was
and then they just reminisce about TNG, and I'm just at this point I'm just annoyed by this. And of course, then the whole idea of Geordi not being willing. I've said this before, but Geordi not helping Jean-Luc because he wants to protect his kids. I mean,
He's so stubborn, Napoleon. Oh, he's so stubborn. Our daddy.
I'm just like at this point, I'm just like, I would have figured the opposite. I figured Picard would be like say, I don't want you to get involved or something. Which
that would be Picard.
when they were trapped in the nebula or whatever with the stupid jellyfish birth nonsense. I
Jesus.
thought that was going to be when Geordi showed up to save the day. I thought it was going to be Geordi riding to the rescue to save them because he understands, science and engineering, and he would come up with some genius method of getting them out of that jam. But no.
Memberberry jam.
Well, yes, it's a memberberry jam. It's stupid. It's a dumb reference to Farpoint. I agree with you, but still, it would have am I not wrong? Would that not have been the place for Geordi to show up and basically come up with some ingenious thing and also come to the rescue?
Yeah, we live in the age of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this show is. It is nothing but a series of missed opportunities. Like we could sit down and whiteboard out overnight, just hanging out with pizza and root beer and pick up threads from TNG or villains that are out there or people we thought were dead were out there, and then literally write them in a 4-act style the way of TNG did, only maybe make them a little more relatable and accessible and put some fucking lights on the show, and I think we'd have a hit on our hands. But instead we get this, and then we're called names and just rage baiters and all this other stuff, and it's just it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. But this isn't going to be the first time that I, as a nerd, am being rejected by the popular kids. And let me tell you how many F's are in my bag of F's about that. Just going to say that. Okay.
I thought we were the popular kids, Salty. This panel, this chat, our fellowship, we're the popular
our
kids.
Our chat
aren't we?
is, and you when you wear that dress on your OnlyFans channel are really popular. But yeah.
So one thing that Steve brought up quite a bit yesterday was the idea of convenience, and the one thing that was probably the most convenient was the idea. So they're looking for they're trying to figure out who the weapon is, what the changeling stole, and what the manifest was, and the manifest just happened to be Data, or not Data, Brent Spiner android synth thing is the manifest. And well, I thought that. I mean, I just thought that was very convenient and.
Why is the weapon Picard's body remains? I just did not get that. Sorry, because I'm stupid.
I don't know what they're going to do with it. Are they going to clone Picard or something?
But
are they
Picard is still in the rift. God damn it, I can't remember the name of it. The
Nexus.
Yeah, Picard is also still in the Nexus.
Oh, is he there too?
With Kirk.
Is that why we get Action Hero Picard?
Is Malcolm McDowell there as well?
I mean, think about it.
Is that why we get Action Hero Picards? Because
he's in the
real
Matrix.
Picard's still in the Nexus?
Wait,
I never thought of that.
Are they saying everyone
believe me,
who is in the Matrix is in there forever?
There's an echo of you that's in there, and I'm just saying, if you really wanted to do what I want, which is for them to erase every goddamn thing that has J.J. Abrams on it and go back to before, that would be the way to do it. And I think that people would lose their minds. And I would say this is the best Star Trek I've ever seen since TNG if they blew every other thing up that came before it. But they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, wish fulfillment on my end would be if they would just go back to, they would just shove all this new Trek from Abrams is in their own universe already, but all this new Trek stuff, and just say this is part of a different universe, and then they go back to where Nemesis left off and just kind of start from there. 100 years later, do another. And I say this, do another reinvention. Make another TNG called Star Trek: The Next Generation, with a new crew and a whole different method of exploration, going to different parts of maybe they go beyond the quadrant this time. They explore all four quadrants. They have they have capability of going at different they have capabilities to go in different parts of the galaxy at this point.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And something interesting, and new races and new conflicts and new types of alien characters, new personalities. Don't just make more human like aliens. Like,
you can,
as much as I like the Bajorans, they're too human.
You know what I would love? I would love to see what Voyager could have been, which was actually exploring that other part of space.
Yes,
we
Daniel.
get a glimpse of that in season 3 of Enterprise, where they go further than they've ever been, to the point where they have no resources, they have no support, or Year of Hell, or the entirety of Year of Hell.
Were you guys disappointed with Voyager? I'm just asking because I was the age that was kind of Next Generation, and then Voyager were the ones for me. It was coming out when
I was extremely disappointed that it didn't turn into like Robinson Crusoe in space.
I agree. So or Lost in Space or something like that.
Yes.
Hail to the Minister of Time Travel in astral projection. That sounds like a busy job. It's awesome
there's still aspects of Voyager that I did enjoy, like I 7 of 9 and other things. But yeah, I dropped the ball. I mean, who doesn't enjoy 7 of 9 in a catsuit?
Absolutely. I saw Voyager. I was a kid when Voyager came out. Voyager has a lot of nostalgia for me because it was one of the. I started at the end of season 3. I started collecting I was 12 years old. I was ending 6th grade. I was in the ER quite a bit for asthma attacks. I'm an asthmatic and all that. And so I'd be in and out of the hospital. I'd be home for a week at a time. So I had a lot of time by myself. So I would be watching. I started collecting the original Star Trek on VHS.
Awesome, dude.
And then later that year, like in the spring, I started. I used to watch UPN quite a bit, and I noticed there was a show called Voyager on, and it was another Star Trek show, and I wanted to get into some of the more, the current stuff. I saw the TNG films, I saw a few episodes of TNG, and I wanted to watch Voyager. I liked the character of Tuvok. He kind of reminded me of Spock with being the Vulcan and everything.
Fair.
And I watched an episode or two, but then, because I knew who the Borg were because I saw First Contact. I saw First Contact shortly, when it came out. So I knew who the Borg were, and I see this episode called Scorpion Part 1, and I saw how that episode ended. And I'm like, dude, what is this? And then I was expecting to see Part 2 the next week because I didn't understand what a cliffhanger was, because I never watched a live action show prior to that because I was a kid, so I didn't know what a cliffhanger was. And so so they showed reruns. I'm like, what about the next part?
Welcome to my hell for virtually everything, dude. Like when the Best of Both Worlds aired, I was in community college and we all were sitting around eating Domino's pizza going, no, I gotta wait 6 months to find out what happens. And it's
You have ruined our summer, Patrick. Or that's what a fan told Patrick Stewart once. You have ruined our summer, blah, blah, blah.
Species.
But I was too young. I was too young for that. I was only 5 or 6 when I came out.
Will you pull up Unbearable 73's? I'll shut up, Daniel. The comment about he'll say it again, because I'd love to have you guys react to that. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
Oh no, just that Species 8472 is terrifying. Like that's how you.
And then they kind of then they made what's a good word for what they did to them?
Wow.
They neutered them. They neutered them.
Yeah, they really did. That's just such a shame.
Because I think they could have been a great. They should have been the final.
Paul, sorry, just say really briefly. You guys are so lucky in the States or wherever because you got it on TV. I used to have to buy the VHS episodes of Next Generation.
Way.
Wow.
Voyager, because I didn't want to wait because it was more than I think it was a year we got it. We had to wait a fucking year. How crazy is that? So I dropped out of Voyager within season 1 because I just found it boring. So I never saw it get better.
I walked away after the beginning part, so I have to go back and watch Voyager because I just was like, okay, this is a little slow.
Do you say it gets good from season 3, Naporial? Do you rate it or 4?
What, for Voyager?
Yeah,
season 3 had some solid. Season 2. I mean, the best parts of season 1 and 2 were the episodes with Seska and the. So Seska became the embodiment of the evil Maquis. So the Voyager, you have half of the crew of the Voyager because half the crew got killed during the when they were riding the wave. Hey, remember riding a wave in space? Remember, Barry? I didn't even realize that was a member berry, but they ride the wave to the caretaker, and half the crew, including the doctor, the chief medical officer, and the first officer, get killed, and the engineer. I think the chief engineer gets killed too. So basically, the crew of the Maquis ship that Chakotay leads basically fills in for everybody else.
Yeah.
And so there was some tension that I think they could have done more with, but they ended up embodying all that Maquis Starfleet tension into one person.
Yeah, that whole premise,
Cardassian agent.
That whole premise they didn't use, and it was a lost opportunity to make the whole divided ship. Again, the whole Robinson Crusoe thing wasn't used. The Kazon were terrible villains. Sadly,
we want your technology, you bastards, and you're going to give it to us, even if we have inferior technology.
Yeah, how are they scary when they're just a bunch of cavemen with rocks, essentially?
Yeah, rocks for heads and all that. But yeah, the Voyager theme song by Jerry freaking Goldsmith is some of the that. Like you go from that to the Enterprise. It's been a long road.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I'm out. I didn't watch Enterprise because of that stupid song. And
my father was so mad at that.
I'm like, and then they didn't even have the they had the audacity to not call it Star Trek Enterprise. They just called it Enterprise. I'm like, what is this?
I walked away from that show, and it sucks because I think there was a huge missed opportunity.
Good. It got really good, especially season 1
episode though, with the shower scene. Holy shit, guys!
Oh gosh, she's so hot.
I'm Googling.
I'm jelly.
Brett S. has got some great comments here. He said the Voyager didn't get good till the Scorpion episode. He's also saying
season three, I think, is where people will say season 4, but I think season 3 is where it really starts to shine.
Joseph Dredd, were you happy when they killed Tuvix? Did you celebrate that abomination being destroyed?
Tuvix, that episode was terrible. I'm like, what are they? It was like, oh, it's wrong to revert the original people back. I'm like, what's the point of this? What was the point of that? Imagine if me and Gray merged into a single being, and we decided to be. We're like, okay, we're different now, but we're a different, we're a unique individual. Yeah, me and Gray. You and me are beamed, and we're combined into a single entity now.
Gray Porial?
No, it would be
drunk
Azashi. You'd be drunk Azashi. That's what you'd be.
Oh my god, sounds amazing.
So, Well, I mean, I think the moral thing would be to bring the original two back instead of leaving the merged being together. And the thing was, the merged being didn't want to go back for some reason. I was just like, why did they write that?
I mean, it's a new perspective. It's essentially a new entity. So he doesn't want to die. But he was very selfish. I thought he was a selfish bastard.
He wouldn't have died. He would have. There would have been memories in both of them. He would have lived into both of them.
I like the point of the episode. I did think Tuvix was an abomination, and I was glad to see him destroyed.
Yeah, because it just made the Voyager crew look bad after that. I'm just
I love how we stopped talking about Picard, by the way.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation.
I'm sorry, I spoiled the moment.
I was just agreeing with Joseph Dredd. That's all.
Yeah. Hail Joseph Dredd, you are the law.
It's true. I love the Dredd movie, by the way. I didn't see the original Judge Dredd, but I did see Dredd 2010 or 2012.
Don't ever watch the Stallone Dredd movie.
I'm the law! I'm the law! I love Stallone, but come on. That was terrible for me.
Really? Oh, okay. I can't wait. I have to see it. So.
No, we should do it. We should do a review of it, Salty. What do you reckon, Daniel?
Yeah.
The original Judge Dredd. Stallone Dredd.
That'd be a hilarious time.
By the way, I watched The Long Goodbye, Gray. I watched The Long Goodbye this week.
Oh, are you joining later? Oh, you star.
I might as well because I watched the movie, so I haven't seen it before.
Don't have to stay the whole thing. Like it's only going to be an hour, I think, but that'd be awesome.
Okay, definitely. So, but yeah, and the other thing I guess we could talk about is the way Riker gets captured. Like he didn't have to get captured. Like he literally he was fighting them off. He's fighting the Starfleet off, or changelings, or whatever they are. He's fighting them off. He goes deep into where they are, and they get him from behind. I'm like, why did they get him from behind? Like, shouldn't he have held them off from like close to where they were, and then he would have been able to beam away? So like once again, this is convenience right here. So he gets captured, and Vadic has him. And remember in the beginning of the episode, the one thing I forgot to bring up is that Vadic's like, bring every known associate of Picard to me and everything. So
yes, all his loved ones, everyone.
Loved ones. And who do they have? They have Marina Sirtis. They have Deanna.
I was hoping she'd drop a British accent, but she didn't.
So Deanna Troi is now the leverage for that Riker needs to go along with Vadic. I don't know what they're going to do. Or I guess I don't know what's going to happen, but
Riker went off like a hero, didn't he? On Emporio, like he's like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself so you can get away. And he went off, and he didn't care until he saw Deanna. He's like, oh shit, they've got my wife.
And then all of a sudden I think they did that to give Worf and Raffi something to do for these last few episodes.
She did look battered. You're right.
Because I mean, at this point, Worf and Raffi have nothing to do.
She looked deep fried and battered. She's kind of not a nice person.
But yeah, Worf and Raffi need something to do, so they're going to go and rescue Riker because that's why Riker got captured in the first place. That's just my opinion. That's what I think is the reason why they did that.
Paper thin plot. They're literally just making up shit to put these characters in. I keep waiting for Denise Crosby to show up. You know?
I had a crush on Denise Crosby in season 1.
My first time that I learned about Denise Crosby, I was looking at a Playboy magazine. I think it was in 1986, and she was topless in it. And I was like, okay. And then I remember she's on Star Trek, and I was like, hey, I know what that chick looks like naked. So every time I see Denise Crosby, as
you ever see 48 Hours?
Yes.
You see her. Oh
God, is she in that? I can't remember.
Yeah, she was sleeping with the villains. Her and another woman were sleeping with villains. So they're chasing them out, and you get to see her stuff. You get to see her boobies. So
you also get to see her terminated in what's the serial killer show that was popular 10 years back? Dexter. Yeah, you get to see her.
Oh yeah.
You get to see Denise Crosby wrapped in saran wrap, and she is not as svelte as she used to be.
Oh no, she was She was on a season of Walking Dead where she was a really terrible person, and that
Yeah,
was
she
the
was
episode.
She was the mother of the cannibals.
That's when I stopped watching. That's when I tuned. I was like, okay,
no.
I
You know, I actually, I
shit.
laughed. I laughed when Rick and them they just straight up slice and dice and murder those cannibals. It was just so. It was so funny. I know I'm a terrible person for saying that.
No, that's why I stopped watching. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know?
This is when they meet the father Gabriel. That's when they meet. I think that's when they meet Father Gabriel. I stopped watching after season 8. Once I watched their take on All Out War and what they did, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Walking Dead review show.
Yeah,
How are you?
they're killing characters just for the shock value now. I'm just like, it's not even. I just stopped.
So
And the
Picard
show's over.
season 3.
What?
No, don't talk about that. Do we salty?
Hail Keely Chow. Hail Keely Chow, by the way. And
DJ
hail
Ronnie G.
Jacob
DJ Ronnie
Ironsides.
G.
Hail DJ Ronnie G. It's awesome for you guys to show up in the 7th hour of this 12-hour marathon, not talking about Picard. So.
Brett S in the chat as well has been pointing out. I heard this, but I didn't know it was true. Marina Sirtis. I mean, she's a Brit as well. She's a bit of a nightmare at conventions apparently because she always has to bring up politics.
She was glad people in Texas froze to death because they're Republicans. You guys remember that?
Fucking hell.
You guys remember that, right?
I just want to point out that Nerpoil has done a Herculean, fantastic effort, Herculean in trying to talk about Picard. Despite us,
he has.
So, again, can't call you a critic just because you want to be, or a shill. So yeah, good job.
Objectivity.
Me? I'm a shill.
Yeah, good
He's
job.
always honest. Always honest. That's what I love about him.
Well, I mean, maybe if I get big enough and they give me money and they give me free goodie bags and all that, I'll be like,
Tote
fuck
bags.
you guys, I'm gonna like the shit out of this. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm gonna like the shit out of this. No, I'm kidding.
What's your price, Noporial? How
can
high do
never
they
have
have to go?
all the Romulan ale. All the Romulan ale. That's my.
You can
price.
never have enough cheap, shitty coffee cups and tote bags, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm just not on board with this.
This was disappointing for me too.
You don't have to defend not liking something just because
don't.
everybody else is telling you to, dude. Like, I respect the fact that you want to love this. You are actively looking for reasons to love this, and I respect that. I do. I want there to be something redeeming that comes out of this where you're like, all right, it was a march, but this was a satisfying conclusion. They treated him with respect.
Me
Do
too,
I think
Zoe.
it's going to happen? No. Would I like that to happen? Yes.
Yes.
But I'm not settling for sloppy seconds. Okay? I'm not settling for watered down crap that has like just member berries here and there and dragging people who are still alive from TNG into this to make them look like morons so that the BIPOC female who's probably bisexual is smarter than the rest of them. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. By the way, there was something I did want to ask. Maybe Gray, did you recognize the theme of when they arrive at the museum, the Fleet Museum? It sounded like the Epsilon 9 theme from the motion picture.
Just a brief moment of it. I don't remember, to be honest, mate. I don't remember. I'm not
We'll have
that
to
deep
replay
lore
it.
as you.
We'll have to replay it.
Wouldn't surprise me though, Neporial.
It sounded like that little fluttering theme that they play right before they hear da 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 da.
Yes.
Something like that, or maybe I don't remember, but it like I said, the musical member berries really kind of hits me. So
Yeah,
more than the visual member
I
berries.
even watched the closing credits. I watched them all because of the music. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't usually do that.
That's
I mean,
not
it
an
freaking
accident.
ends with the first contact thing. Like every episode ends with the first contact thing, and it's in your face. It shows the LCAR system, the stuff that they brought Mike Akuda back to, redesign and everything. So, and they're playing the first contact theme, then it transitions into the motion picture, then the Next Generation theme, and then yeah, and then you get the final credits, which is all original stuff, the stuff that I use for my intro. So, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there are points where the music does hit me, but it hasn't done enough to really completely sell me. But then again, it's just
Do you think this was a step down after last week?
It's not just you.
Do you think it's a step down after last week's episode?
Yeah,
I
do.
I was disappointed.
I personally do. I thought last week, even Steve thought last week's episode was the best. So it was funny that we both actually agreed on this. And I'm sure people will say, "Oh, you're just going along with with Prophet because Prophet doesn't like it." I'm like, well,
nobody listens to Steve. Nobody listens to what Steve likes. I don't know who the hell is saying that. Whoever you are, you don't know Prophet of the Dragon very well. I'm going to say that. We consult Steve, but we don't ever really listen to Steve. So, true story.
Hail Steve,
Brian.
still there.
Brian isn't even making a joke.
Steve!
Like, yeah.
Wait, was I supposed to stand up for Steve? Oops.
No,
I listen to Steve all the time.
Long live the Mayo King. Long live the Mayo King.
Long live the donut king. We love Prophet of the Dragon.
Come on, Steve. I miss you, mate. I miss you.
So yeah, he's doing stuff with his son. So yeah. So
should we give it a rating, or is there anything else you want to talk about the story? What story there was?
Other than we talked about Geordie. We talked about the. I was watching. Imagine how I lived through this. I was watching The Ready Room. The Ready Room starring Will Wheaton. And
never watched it.
It's some of the most. I'm sorry, but Will, you're very cringe. I'm sure you're not watching this, but Will, you're very cringe.
He has that minor retracted.
He's
starting to get that minor retracted person vibe. Will Wheaton is.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah. So the worst episodes of TNG featured him.
So apparently we're going to be getting a double secret special guest next week. So apparently they're bringing someone else in. It was a secret. They're going to have a secret guest on the Ready Room. So apparently and then they didn't reveal the actor because that would be spoiling it. So I'm going to call it here. I think it's going to be someone from Voyager. I think it's going to be either Janeway or the Doctor.
It'll be Janeway.
It won't be John Delancey because they already killed him.
They killed him. That was like, to me, that was just
Takai.
I don't think he's not going to be.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's the right political bend. You could bring him in a certain way, like they did with
they had him on the Star Trek thing, and they took Shatner off, even though Mr. Shatner is he's the star of the original series.
Yeah, but they showed his dead body hanging, as a scan. So there's your
Kirk. It was just, and then they're playing the theme, and I'm just like, why do they have the body of Kirk? Like, it's just I didn't even notice that in the first watch. I rewatched and I saw that
patriarchy. That's why.
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. So, but I think other than that, we covered everything. What do you guys think of them stealing the cloaking device and
just plugging it in
and plug in like? Well, I mean, they did something like that in the I'll give them this. They did something like that. Scotty rigged up a way to Kirk steals a cloaking device by just taking a fixture out of its hole on the Romulan ship. I'm not joking. This is the Enterprise since season 3, and then Scotty just like rigs it. He installs it, and he's like, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. He's like, push the button, and then they escape the Romulans. So that was original series. So
I can't remember that one at all.
They steal remember the HMS Bounty, the Klingon ship from Star Trek 4, the one that they used that they named. That's the cloaking device that they stole. That Jack and Sydney stole. The children. The children stole. So that they could.
Did.
Wait, they literally used the bounty from movie 4.
Yeah, because the Fleet Museum has all these has like rings around several levels of this massive. It looks like the space dock. It's the same space dock.
All the member berries are all.
I'm sorry, but
there are rings around it that have all the ships. So we see the Defiant, we see the Enterprise A, we see some other Constitution class called the New Jersey. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm guessing that's from
the New Jersey. What was that?
I'm guessing that's from a book or something. I'm guessing, or a comic. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, Brett, that's a
chat,
good point.
No, what is the New Jersey? It's probably
Brett,
from a.
Great points, mate. Great points.
Yeah, why didn't they use the Defiance cloaking device?
Exactly.
Because I guess the Defiance not member berry enough. Deep Space Nine's a lot of people's favorite show.
Also,
Actually,
Napoleon
no, I think
Salty. Brett says that Kirk's body is on the station because they couldn't put it on the recent Trek promotional posters.
Damn.
Okay, that was really good.
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
respect
one.
that level of actually truth telling and red pilling. Thank you for doing that.
Wow, I am floored by that. That's awesome and terrible.
That's a great catch.
Yeah.
I know at the same time, it's awesome and terrible. Oh my God, what are they doing? Am I missing it, Salty? I mean, being serious for a minute, am I really missing these things because I'm not looking deep enough? Did they really do that because of what you said? Show like Kirk's dead, partially, frozen body, whatever.
What would be another explanation for having a body scan of James T. Kirk in the background of this show?
Are they going to use it later on in the story? Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I think that's. Tell me the symbolism isn't there, Gray. Like I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but at a certain point, like if you judge the consistency of the character of the people behind the show, would it surprise you that they would do that?
We all remember the photo of the writer's cubicle with Luke Skywalker's face crossed out. Like these things aren't just. This isn't us just imagining stuff.
It's a generational hatred of the culture that gave them all of this freedom and liberty and disposable income that they're now destroying.
Strong masculine heroes who stand for good things.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And they're going to find out real quick what communism is all about, and it doesn't
I'm
involve
so bloody naive,
out.
aren't I, guys? I really am. I have no idea.
You're not naive. Maybe not
missing
too
all
bright.
this.
Maybe not too bright, but you're not naive.
Oh, I'm stupid, I am.
There was one other thing I forgot to talk about that Prophet was bringing up quite a bit yesterday. Gray, what did you think of they brought up the reason why they couldn't, like, Geordi couldn't help them at first was because all the ships now can talk to each other?
Yeah, like, where's that from? Is that a new thing?
It's like they say the ships talk to each other and act as a beacon.
And he's against that, isn't he,
And Geordi was against that. There was this. They said, despite Geordi's objections, and
fuck, sorry.
I'm trying to understand this. So it's like, are they talking about like AI? Like the ship has its own AI and they talk to each other without the people.
Are you familiar with the Cylons? Are you familiar with the Cylons from Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that I heard here was that this, first of all, AI would have taken over and probably murdered everybody left in the Federation and then gone after everybody else, because that's what they're going to do to us. But there's a certain point here where any alien race could just infiltrate and find out what the frequencies were, reprogram the AI to literally turn the Federation ships against them like they did in Battlestar Galactica. That's why, like, what are we doing here? Is this pro messaging for AI? Because every other damn thing that we see in shows has agenda of some kind.
Hey.
Now, it's either they're really stupid or it's another little like, oh, we have to do our changing the culture to accept eating bugs and owning nothing. Because that's everywhere now. Now, I don't know. Is that crazy? I don't think so.
Nerdporial, could you imagine if the original series had done an episode where they had a computer controlling a ship and maybe like Kirk didn't think that was a good idea?
Yeah, and it featured a character named Daystrom, I believe.
That would be
cool. Yeah.
And I believe the episode was called, that was episode 53, called The Ultimate Computer.
You guys are killing me. I know.
Yeah.
Bow down to Nerdporial's law. Amazing.
I love that I can just
Daniel
mention an episode. It's kind of like a game. I just kind of like, what can I mention and see if Nerdporial.
Oh no, Nerdporial. He's like the Encyclopedia Britannica, only handsome. You know. I made him blush.
I know some. Yeah. Yeah, you made. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you did.
Oh, no way. There's a link, guys. Check out the comment by Brett. There's a link to Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy. The ship's being.
Oh no, I'm not watching that.
Part of the bad guy plot in Prodigy right now. No way.
I'm not watching that. That's not.
No, we don't hate anybody. So that's.
No, we don't hate anybody.
No, of course not.
We judge, and we talk about you after the show's over. But we don't hate.
Everyone hates me, by the way.
Nobody hates Gray. Everybody loves Gray.
It's bloody positive
idiot.
But
but Prodigy, I have to watch Prodigy because Prodigy's been widely recommended by a lot of people. Like,
oh really?
It's yeah. better than. I mean, it's better than Lower Decks, and I mean, I watched an episode of it, and I just like this is them trying to do the Clone Wars and everything.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I don't know. I
watched
looked
the,
at some of the episodes. I'm like, doesn't sound too bad. So at some
Napoleon,
point
I watched the
might
Lower
watch it.
Decks one you said, the one with Deep Space Nine. They go back to Deep Space Nine. It was actually, apart from the characters in there, you know the main characters, which I can't stand, it was pretty good.
The
seeing
Deep Space Nine stuff was fun, was good. It was just there were two plots. There was the Deep Space Nine plot, and then there was the Mariner plot.
Yeah,
and Mariner's the unlikable protagonist of Lower Decks, and her arc in that episode was awful.
Just, I can't stand that character.
Yeah. So, but the Deep Space Nine stuff was pretty funny.
It was funny, but again, it's member berries, isn't it, guys? It's member berries again. There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's more. I mean, the thing is, New Trek, and this is definitely an aspect of New Trek that it just can't escape, is that it just leans too much on the better stuff that came before, but won't like actually honor it by following up on it. It just tries to, like Strange New Worlds tries to retcon, is basically retconning the original series. The finale of season 1 was a retcon of the Balance of Terror episode that me and Gray are going to be discussing tomorrow night on his channel. Or tomorrow night, yeah. It's going to be morning for him, and or afternoon for him, and evening for night for me. So, but how do you take a classic episode that every Trek fan likes, that was very inspirational to the Spock's death scene in The Wrath of Khan, Balance of Terror, and retcon that? Because the thing that even Enterprise followed was that nobody saw the Romulans or knew what they looked like prior to that episode.
Exactly.
That's why the whole thing between Styles and Spock was a thing, because
Napoleon,
he thought
Daniel's
Spock
got
was
a
a
bounce,
Romulan
mate.
spy, because they had pointed ears just like the Vulcans.
That's why I respect Enterprise as a series, because at least it attempted to do its best to do no damage.
Yeah, like I saw. I mean, I was out after episode 5. Like, it was just Stranger Worlds was just so insufferable and just more Akiva Goldsman. But I was still keeping tabs, like on that. I've looked at that finale. I'm like, this is supposed to take place before the original series, and yet the Enterprise already encounters the Romulans and have seen them. Like, what is this? Like, this is obviously not in the same universe at this point.
No.
And I'm not interested in retconning the original series. I'm sorry. If I have to choose between the original series and that, I'm going to choose the original series every time.
Yeah, that's my decision on this.
Exactly.
Like, there's a certain point where my canon is stopping, because whatever this is doing is meant to replace or plant seeds of 2023 or 2022 or 2020, whatever it is, into it, and I'm not interested in that. I'm not.
And Lon is totally insufferable. I hate my ancestor Khan because he was a bad person. And then she always downgrades. She always downgrades, or not downgrades, but always is demeaning to Spock. And like, heck,
Denigrate.
She always denigrates Spock. I watch an episode of Picard on Paramount Plus, and they show the trailer, and the trailer, they think it's funny, but the trailer the ad they show for Strange New Worlds shows her saying, "Don't you ever just speak normal English?" Like, that's supposed to be funny, or to Spock when Spock says something. Like, seriously, stop denigrating. Like, honestly, stop denigrating the character of Spock. It's not funny. It's not funny, and it's just disrespectful to what the character that Nimoy, owned and played, and pretty much. I mean, he didn't create it, but he really owned and created a lot of aspects of. So,
Well,
I mean,
and
you
Nimoy-
take away Nimoy's gravitas, the more you do that, and it just makes fans like me not want to watch your stuff.
The
Stop
thing
doing
about
that.
Nimoy's Spock is he was part of, as a young man, part of the archetypes that informed the maturation of a young man, because you've got the command, react, action, hunter type of a thing with Kirk. Then you have the logic, which was Spock, and then you have McCoy, who was the emotion. Now that's getting into some sociological stuff, but at the same point, those are three corners of a very important set of masculinity, especially in healthy masculinity. And I think that's why they're deconstructing it, because everything has to be deconstructed. Because when all you have is a hammer, every stained glass window has to be broken out. And we've seen it over and over and over. And now they've busted out the stained glass window. That was Star Trek. That was TNG. And now they're putting up, I don't know, plexiglass with like Star Trek stickers on it. And it's like, there's your stained glass window. And I'm like, I'm not buying this shit. And I'm sorry.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning.
All right. But it looks like we've pretty much, it's been over 2 hours, and we got things to do, and things to do. So anything you guys want to promote? We'll start with Mr. Wakizashi Gray-san.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Later on, we're going to review Raymond Chandler's The Long Goodbye, which is directed by Robert Altman from 1973. Elliot Gould, very interesting movie, shall we say? And hopefully, Nerporial is going to be joining. And
I watched it. I watched the entire thing. So
it's a good movie.
What about you? What about you, Salty?
I don't know. Maybe I do a live stream on Purple Valkyrie's channel every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We talk about all of the things going on in the worlds and ways that involve eating bugs and lichen, UFOs, Loch Ness Monster, things like that, asteroids. So check me out. I also do videos, but I'm just kind of I'm waiting for entertainment to be critical of as opposed to propaganda to be critical of. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And what about you? Not Alex?
I'm not doing too much. I'd say head over to the White Cloaks and let them know how I did tonight. They'll want to know, what a good job I did and how my head of hair is gone. So that's walk in the light.
So subscribe to the White Cloaks YouTube channel. So Pips, that's $5 now. Give me.
Minister of Time Travel and Astral Projection says, love this show. Well, we love you in a non-gay way. We're glad you're here. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely sexual way. Absolutely.
Well, I'll speak for myself then.
I love Salty and Nerporial and Daniel, not Alex.
Yeah,
sorry, Alex.
in a gay way. That's
right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
There you go. So okay, for me, I just saw John Wick 4, and it's the final movie. It's the final movie of it, and I'm pretty upset.
I was going to go see it. We have to talk about that.
That movie did not disappoint. That movie, just like the earlier ones, it's a lot of fun. And it was great. I enjoyed it. The set action. See, the John Wick movies are way better than the Bourne movies, and they're way better than the Daniel Craig movies, in my opinion. Why? Because you can see what the hell's going on. The cinematography in those movies is great. Like the stunts and everything, dude.
We've got shots fired in chat from Anthroparian, who says Wick 4 was a slog, but I gotta go. I haven't left the apartment. I've worked from home all day and then 4 hours of live streaming. You guys are awesome if you want to hang out, but I gotta bail.
Take care, Salty.
See you, Salty.
And
other stuff that's going to be coming up. I don't have anything planned for. I don't have any stream. Next stream is going to be next episode. I'm doing
Star Trek Nerporial. Tomorrow we're doing Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror. We're doing Balance of Terror. So I have to do my research before the stream. So come by. What time is the stream going to be tomorrow?
7 p.m. Central, hopefully.
7
That's okay
p.m.
with you.
Central on Wakizashi's Tea House. We're going to be talking the original series episode, Balance of Terror. So be there and be square. And I can't wait to talk about it. And I can't wait to learn and read, learn about the going-ons of that episode beforehand. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And right now I made some progress on my Metroid retrospective, and hopefully get that written and done this weekend.
Nice.
And hopefully start editing it soon, and then using Dempsey's music that he made for me. So can't wait. So that's pretty much that. Maybe I'll do a stream on talking about John Wick if anyone else has seen it, or maybe a video talking about the series. If there's one thing that really stood about John Wick 3, there was a lot of broken glass. He got knocked through a lot of glass at the end of that movie. So, and I couldn't help but think of Steve in the peripheral.
Again, it's coming into everything. And do you know what? In Japan, we've got to wait until September. How insane is that? We've got Dungeons and Dragons coming out next weekend, but John Wick, September. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. And so far, I've heard nothing but good things about it, about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. So
I'm probably going to see it just to see. Yeah,
hopefully. So, but yeah. So,
thanks, Nick. It's been a blast today. Really enjoyed this.
I'm so glad you did. Daniel, did you enjoy yourself?
I did. This was a fun time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for joining us. And remember, check out Daniel's channel. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to Wakizashi. Subscribe to Salty Traveling Sea. And you know what? I'll say it again. Subscribe to Prophet of the Dragon and subscribe to the White Cloaks. Alex, Pips, and Dane whenever he feels like it. Great channel covering Lord of the Rings. I've been reading Lord of the Rings because of their book streams and everything. I'm also reading. So I'm still in the beginning of the Dragon Reborn. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be doing a Wheel of Time stream again on my channel. So
cool.
Be on the lookout for those. I just need to do a lot more reading than I have been.
Me too. Me too.
And but thanks again, everybody, for being here. So 4 more episodes. So 8 more streams covering this, 4 live watches and 4 discussions, for the next Thursdays and Fridays. So always be, keep me in mind if you're looking for something to stream Thursday and Friday nights and everything. Everybody just, take care, stay nerporial. May the wings of nerporials carry you to some great entertainment, and keep watching good Star Trek too, as a palate cleanse. Other than that, everybody, take care and have a good night.